gonna wait a minute until we fully introduce everything, but yeah, but looks like we're good.
Alright.
Perfect. Hello, and welcome to the 4th round of the Adrenaline Racing Community Endurance Championship. My name is ARC the Rascal, and I'm joined in the booth by Orlos today. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. It's a beautiful sunny day in the Belgian mountains.
Indeed it is. I don't think we've actually, we've never commentated in the same booth before, have we? This is our first time together?
Yeah, it's the first time together, so
Yeah.
we picked a good race to get to know each other. It's just gonna be I think this broadcast is gonna be it's gonna be what, over 3 hours long for sure, probably maybe even touching the 4-hour mark, I think. So
Probably just barely.
yeah.
Gotta remember that when they take their pit stops, they either have to take a full 10 minutes or a 5-minute, 5 minutes.
That's why this goes into the pits there. Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about the rules now that you brought it up. Actually, so drivers in this race. So the 80 laps, obviously. 80 laps of Spa for you know 2 minutes a lap. We're talking around about 180 minutes roughly, just in terms of pure driving time. Maybe even over that, so that's easily going to clear the 3-hour mark, as we see Ismail in his I think there's a new livery on Ismail in the pit lane.
Let me take a look.
Yeah, he's been in the yellow Corvette so far, but this time he's added well, I can't click the back button here, unfortunately. But we'll see it on track soon enough. So it's an 80 lap race. First lap of the race is going to be a full formation lap, so the drivers will go around weaving, putting their fuel mixtures up and saving as much fuel on their tires as possible. And then once we clear, as we see Guzes going into, what's that corner called, Rivage in his Lexus, and then once they're going down the hill past La Source, going down into Eau Rouge, that's when the race leader will start. And then I suppose it's a 79 lap race, but we won't call Furious out on that one too much.
Yeah. So the race will be starting at the old pit straight, not the new pit straight. So basically how most races do it, like 24 hours of Spa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so the drivers have to use all 3 different tire compounds throughout the race. Hards, mediums, and softs. They get 2 allocated pairs of soft tires. So we'll have to try to monitor that in some way throughout the race.
Right.
To basically make sure that they do that. So they only get 2 softs, and they have to at some point take either a full 10-minute pit stop where they just sort of park their car in the pits and do nothing for 10 minutes, or they do 5 minute. They do that for 5 minutes, but twice, and that's to ensure that the drivers can get out of their seats, stretch their legs, kind of simulate a driver change, and maybe if they've had a crash or something like that, they can reset their heads and go again for the next part of the race. I know in the first race this season that happened to me, where I had an incident and I needed to just come into the pits and clear my head, so I took a break. So
Yeah.
those are the rules for this race. I think very simple. We've got some new drivers though, so hopefully they won't fall afoul. We got DSRT Ray Balanta driving his BMW, and I think we've seen Ray Balanta before in ALMS. He was, I think, a reserve driver, but came in and kind of dominated the track as we're about to get qualifying underway, according to ARC
Right.
Goofy. So, 15-minute qualifying session here. So,
15 minutes to qualify.
Yeah.
In my experience, this track is it's not a hard track to get down, but it's hard to be fast and up with the other drivers. You can understand the basic ins and outs of it, but to basically find every extreme inch and every tenth or so, it becomes harder and harder the faster you go. So that's my experience with this track. I was originally planning to race, but I've left. I thought about it and I was rather commentate, so that's what I'm going to be doing.
As we see Baldy coming out the pits and immediately going into a fuel burning mode, so Goofy's gone straight past him. And I think a lot of the other drivers have followed suit with Baldy. 15-minute session, so
Right.
you don't have to set a lap immediately. You can go about slowly. Let's just follow Baldy. So he's leading by the likes of Gianni and Gecko. So let's go through the grid. So we have ARC Goofy. I believe he was 4th at Monza in the last race. He beat me, unfortunately. He's driving the Toyota Supra. Do you have any experience of the Supra?
I do. I used it quite a bit. I was thinking about using it when I last raced. I was going to use it in ALMS, but I ended up going with
Oh,
the
sorry to
AMG
interrupt you there,
instead.
Orloz, but Goose has just left the room, unfortunately. So once he rejoins, he might just be having a connection issue, but he'll rejoin, and from there he'll be allocated an amount, an amount of time. He'll be 15 minutes from when he rejoins the lobby.
Right.
So sorry, carry on.
I was just saying that in my experience, I did a lot of practice for the first season of ALMS, and I thought about using the Super for a little bit, but one of my friends and colleagues actually persuaded me to use the AMG, as they thought it was better on tires in their experience. So that's the car I used for the whole season. And hindsight, I probably would have used the Supra if I didn't ask him. It's a very good car. It's not like other cars though. You can't really rev it as high as you would expect to because it makes all its power more down low. So if you know how to drive it, it's a pretty fast car. It's not a slow car by any means.
Well, Goofy's not messing around with fuel saving at all. He's gone straight into flying lap. So do you want to take us through a flying lap of Spa with
Of
ARC
course.
Goofy?
Alright, so he's going down the first, I guess, into Radion and Eau Rouge, just before it. Usually he's supposed to hit the first apex. He hits the second apex for Rouge and Radion,
Takes it flat.
and takes it flat. So very good line indeed. He's on the racing soft tires. Now he's on to Camel. Usually you want to hit your marks around 150. No, 100.
It's the start of the curb, I think, roughly where the breaking point is. He hooks it up nicely through Lacombe. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
he
a nice
does.
line. It's a clean, tidy lap so far.
Into Malmedy. He brakes just after the curb. You're supposed to do that. Hugs in nicely for the whole corner of Brussels. Into 9. Tries not to get onto the curb too much, and he doesn't. Just 2 wheels, almost 4. And usually you want to brake around the neon flag sign, or just before it. Into the double gauche, 10 and 11.
Yeah, pull on.
right.
Very fast corner. I think he
Cool.
could have taken a bit more speed through that, but it's a tidy lap so far. And Goofy, he's got the Supra quite hooked up so far. So let's see what his sector time is through here.
Out of 12 and 13 into 14.
So this is
Going into
Stabilo.
campus.
Oh, he just misses the apex and he had to check up the throttle there. So it's going to hamper his speed coming down the straight. But we know how fast the Supra is in a straight line. Probably one of the
It is very,
highest
very,
top
very
speeds, I'd
fast
say.
indeed. So you want to go as wide as you can without touching the white line, and just like that, you're supposed to have 2 wheels on the curb for the next turn. Brake at 150 for this. Get the chicane right, and he might just have a good banker lap.
Yeah, it's a very solid lap. Let's see what he gets. A 2:17.
2:17.6. Very quick indeed. Very, very fast. And he's going again, I think he is. Uh, yes, he is. He's going for a second lap.
Yeah. So, but
Oh,
you say that, but
Gianni's.
Gianni's just done a 2:15.4 in the Corvette.
Goodness me. Oh my goodness. Now, I've driven a lot of Group 3 cars, and I can say that all the fastest are probably the fastest that you can drive and like still have a good chance with as far as winning goes, probably the Supra, the Corvette, and probably the Viper as well. Those cars are very, very fast in the top end, but they all have their own weaknesses. In my experience, the Corvette has a lot of front oversteer and front tire wear.
Well, Gianni's gone purple again through the first sector, so he's clearly he's not hanging around. 2:15.4 is
that is a very fast lap indeed.
I can't quite remember what a good lap at Spa is, but I believe the 15s. I mean, he's 2.2 seconds out of Goofy. And we saw Goofy he had a pretty tidy lap, but oh my word, there's a whole gaggle of cars here.
Goofy gets out the way for Gianni.
That's good. So Gianni, I like his livery. You know, I think he's got the it's kind of a Ukraine tribute livery from what I can see.
Indeed.
So it says the No War with the customary yellow and blue, and I think there's a flower on it as well. I can't. What is that flower?
Like a sunflower.
Yeah, it's a little sunflower. So it's a nice livery for Gianni. And he's still purple again as we cross the second.
Still purple.
Yeah. Wow, he's got the Corvette hooked up. I mean, he does. I know Gianni is a big fan of Spa. He's obviously Belgian, so it's in his blood. He flashes the lights a couple of times.
Oh no. And they didn't hamper him too much, I don't hope. Into the braking zone. Just past 150. He got to get the chicane right. Can he go purple again?
It's gonna be tight.
What do you? Ooh.
And he does by 3/10.
That is okay. So I think he might be done for now. I think he's going to take a cool down lap. So as it stands, provisional pole for GTSV Gianni with ARC Goofy right behind with a 2:17.6. Ismail Truth with a 2:17.9 as his best lap, but he's on a pusher lap right now, onto Camel right now. He's also in the Corvette. Guza is just done a 2:18.5 and he's gone best first sector. Wiley Coyote is pitting. Fubar is also putting on new tires. Sean is, I think he's gone, I'm not sure. He's about to hit the second. He's about to hit the second sector mark. And he has improved. He's improved by over 2 seconds.
Yeah, so he's going to be looking at maybe. Well, he's going to be quicker than Wiley, surely, with that kind of split. He's maybe looking at the likes of Ismail Truth if he can hook up the final sector. Sean, I'm going to be rooting for Sean in this race because he's driving the Peugeot, and that's the car I was driving in this championship so far. So. Yeah, it's a nice car actually, the Peugeot. I think it's quite a unique car in the category. And, you know, it's an MR car. It looks a bit like a rally car. As he does go into 4th place, just a 10th behind Ismail Truth. So that's a solid effort from Sean there in the red Peugeot. Yeah, he might be one to look out for. I've noticed that Sean's been improving quite a lot recently. I think he was unfortunate not to make the top lobby last week in the GR3 Championship at Le Mans. I think he just missed out to Matty, so but he drove excellently well after I think a difficult start where someone, one of the ARC staff members who shall remain nameless, sent him into the realm. He's a 10th blue in the first sector now as well, so he's gonna be looking to challenge the likes of Goofy and Ismail, but currently, I mean, Gianni, he's in a league of his own.
Guza just crossed the line, but he did not improve, so it's still a 2:18.5 for him. Gianni's coming in for a new set of tires. Goofy is still fuel burning, it seems. So he's going to do 2 fuel burning laps and 2 push laps. So I'm going to assume after this lap, or at the end of this lap, will be his next push lap.
Yeah. I would say
Ismail and Ranger. Ooh.
Or Ismail started very close, but I mean he's a quarter of a second purple, but he's passed. Oh, he's gone a bit deep into the into Lecum.
I don't know if that was a.
I noticed that they were very close together on track, and I was wondering why Ismail. I mean, you know, maybe he wanted a cheeky slip from Didi. Didi currently in 8th position in the. I believe that's the Aston Martin, but the other Aston Martin or is that the Vantage? No, I think
that is a DBR9.
That's the DBR9. Yeah, I thought so. Very odd car choice. It's one of those that we don't see in the GR3 Championship because I think it's actually banned. Because it's very different from the other cars in Group 3.
It is a GT1 car that has been toned down to comply with the Group 3 regulations. So it seems that Ray Balanta is going to be trying to set a lap now. He did a few fuel burn laps, so he's just under 3/4 of a tank.
Oh, a driver I've not mentioned so far as well. So we've got the 2 BMWs of Ray Balanta for DSRT and Gecko Racer, who's still on an outlap. He's been fuel burning the whole time, but Gecko's shown his mettle so far in this championship. He didn't race at Monza, but I believe he was on the podium at both Fuji and what was the second race? Interlagos. So Gecko, I think Gecko could maybe challenge the likes of Gianni. He's certainly got the pace to do so, but we'll see what the BMWs can do. I know they're not teammates, but they're kind of privateers, so I'm sure there'll be a big rivalry between them. You know, who's going to be the highest placed BMW?
Gecko has been able to make very, very great use of that BMW. He knows how to manage the fuel on it. He knows how to manage the tires on it very, very well. He can basically baby the tires and the fuel until you actually need them, and he's going on for his push lap now.
Yeah, so he's going to have time. So he hit the gun at 12:18. So he's going to have time for 2 flying laps here. He's been, I think, fuel burning the whole time. I think he. Ooh.
I think he just went just over. Let's find out.
I think that was just about okay. Just about okay, but he's living life on the edge.
He's all right.
Yeah.
All right, so
now spot your braking point.
All right, just before the curb, holds the chicane nicely, doesn't get too loose. Nice, very nicely done. Onto the curb, but don't put all 4 wheels on the curb. That's dangerous. Just after the curb for this one, can he hug it around the whole corner? I think he can, and he does.
So I take a very different line when I go through that corner. Actually, I like to do it as a bit of a V. I go a bit deep, and then I come back for the late apex as well. So I apex twice. Whereas I'm seeing a lot of drivers today preferring to hug the curb the whole way around. But
I think in race strategy, that's probably the better line because you know, the harder the harder you turn in, the more wear you're doing to your front tires. So I think this is just for a qualifying setup. But I may be wrong. We'll have to see in the race.
Yep, we'll have to see what drivers opt to do during the race. Gecko is 56 seconds better than his current best, but he's not set a representative lap as of yet. I've just noticed that Baldy has gone into 2nd position. We've not talked about Baldy at all so far, but he actually got his first podium. I think his first podium in ARC during the last race at Monza. The bastard. So. So we'll have to wait to see what his time actually was. But Baldy currently up in 2nd position. Let's see if Gecko can displace him. And indeed he does.
With a 2:16.5, very fast, very, very fast. But still, Gianni in the league of his own is still going on for another lap. Let's see what he does.
I'm just shocked because Gianni's so much quicker than everybody else. Has he got NOS on his car or something?
He played GT7 early, got a taste of the nitrous and overtake.
I mean, that is an absolutely stupid lap from Gianni. Like, what is happening?
Ooh, Volanta goes 2:16.5, pushing Baldy down into 4th.
Oh, and that's qualifying over. Belanto, I think, crossed the line. So hold on, I'm just gonna drop a message in. Quali over. So who's on the lap? So
Baldy's still on the lap. Goofy is still on the lap. Ismail on the lap. Sean,
Defiance done. Wiley's just crossed the line. So Wiley in the Lamborghini. By the way, this is a beautiful looking car. Look at that. So nice. Wiley does a 2:18.9, and then we see drivers just slowly coming up. We've got Fubar in the BMW Z4, the other BMW, or one of the other BMWs, and he's gonna start 11th with a 2:19.8. Machine. Oh, I'm looking at Machine here. So he's just about crossed the line with enough time, but he gets it all out of shape.
Yeah, he's all out of shape. So now it's just Goofy, Ismail, and Sean. Sean's going to be the first. He is going to do a 2:18, but it's not enough to improve.
Yeah, so Sean is locked in there.
So Goofy's still on his lap. He's hits his marks. Can he get the chicane right and the exit right? Let's find out. I'm looking like a low 2:17. We'll see.
He's got a bit of a rivalry with Baldy, and he does indeed beat him.
Alright, so now it's down to Ismail and Gecko. Gecko is going to do a 2:16, goes slightly faster, but only just.
And Ismail Ismail Truth goes into 5th position, displacing Baldy, who's finished.
Alright, and here comes Ray Belanta. I think he's on his last lap as well.
Johnny's not finished. Chicane.
Johnny's not finished?
No, he's now finished, yeah.
Okay. Just barely. It's 1,000th down on his last lap. I know I know he does not feel good about that at all.
And then the Machine crosses the line. He's unable to improve. We saw the mistake that he made, but Johnny on pole, and he did a 14.8. So he actually improved. I mean, can someone please check his car, please? Because
quick.
So has he got a tune or something on that thing? Because that is unbelievable.
So it is going to be a 2:14.865 for Gianni, followed by a 2:16.47 for Gecko, 2:16.5 for Volanta, 17.364 for Ismail. Baldy is going to have a 4.92. Sean is going to be a 2.18.0. Guzas is 2.18.3. The final 2.18.4. Coyote at 18.9. Fubar doing a very good job in that Z4. 219 point. The Machine doing a 220, 221 for D-Rager, 223 for Venom Snake, and I think Goofy's best lap was went to the pits.
Yeah, sure. so Goofy went into the pits, so he would slot between Ismail and Belanta. So Goofy's going to start from 4th on the grid. So that's actually a very solid effort from him. So he's obviously going to check the results, but my Gianni, I mean, what on earth was he on? Because that was he was 6/10 quicker in sector 1. He was about 6/10 quicker in sector 2, and that's not something you'd expect in the Corvette actually. So I do wonder about the legality of his car right now. I know that Gianni is an extremely quick driver.
He's.
I'm just gonna ask someone to. Yeah. Okay, so hold on, I'm just gonna very quickly check the lobby settings because this is this is an unbelievable lap from Johnny. Okay, so we got the right fuel and tire settings. Um,
uh,
we've got. Do we? Okay.
tuning is off.
Where's tuning? Okay. It
No
says
limit
it
on
says
the
no
tuning.
limit. It says no limit. It says no limit. So we need a limit on tuning. So I'm gonna tell Goofy. At Goofy.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think Johnny's car is tuned, which wouldn't surprise me because I know
That
Johnny runs another server, where tuning is allowed. I'm pinging the wrong person. Uh, and I think it's a little bit of a. Hold on. Let me ping Goofy for a minute. One moment, please. We need tuning. There we go.
no wonder he went so quick, but still,
Yeah,
nevertheless.
I think he's got a tune on. I think he's got a tune on that car because I wouldn't expect the Corvette to be that much quicker um, through the second sector. Like I know Johnny's a quick driver, but I was looking at those times thinking, bloody hell, like
Right.
how on earth did he do that? Like, because I know the likes of Hallex would be setting I think maybe 15s. Um, I think his time is gonna have to stand, unfortunately. Not unfortunately. Um, well,
That was
let's.
still a very, very good lap,
I mean,
nevertheless.
unbelievable lap, unbelievable lap. So yeah, let's just see. So he's now entered. Sorry to Jani in advance because I know maybe you'll be watching the stream later on. And I'm sort of just like poring over your results, but I'm just looking at those times, with sort of just very wide eyes. But yeah, he's got the same. So I'm going to confirm that he actually does have the same level of power and weight as Ismail's Corvette. I mean, in the same car we're talking. So Ismail, I remember he set was it a 216 or 217, and then
I
and
think
with
Ismail had did a high 217.
yeah, Ismail had a 217.3 compared to Johnny with a 214.8. So 2.5 seconds in the same car. Is quite a lot. But yes, so Goofy's gonna set the grid order. But yeah, still a phenomenal lap from Johnny, and I think that's the fault of us as organisers. So we're gonna just have to we'll have to just let him start from pole for that one. But we'll see. Maybe his pace carries into the race, in which case that would be ridiculous.
Power and weight were closed. Said my power was 93%.
Yeah, no, I mean BOP I believe was on.
I think
BOP is
BOP was
on.
on. It's just that tuning was
Yeah,
free range.
yeah. I mean, if you got tuning on, then so yeah, balance performance is on. So if you don't have BOP, then you know, like tuning makes a massive difference to what the car can actually do. Like I know I did a race I think at the Nürburgring a couple of years ago where you know the stock setup was sort of an 810 and then you put a tune on it and it would do a 759.
Right.
So like 10 seconds, so over 10 seconds quicker. So I know that you know having a tune on the car can really give you a big advantage. And Johnny's not the kind of driver that needs that kind of thing. So.
I guess Gooses and Baldy doing a little practice racing before the actual race.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Getting the elbows out. And then I guess he didn't want to do anything with that. Or maybe he's just trying to get the slip. We'll see. A small little race before the pre-race.
Yeah, sorry. It's the so to Jerry Bear in chat. Yes, it was the Nürburgring 24-hour. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those tracks where, you know, even if you hook it up really well, you can gain like 2 or 3 seconds. So those are just the margins there. There's a big practice race happening between Guzas, Wiley, and Baldy there. Another thing to note is that there are no blue flag rules in this race.
Really?
There are no blue flag
No.
rules. So
So. So
so
it's up
drivers,
to.
yeah, so drivers will have to actually make whenever you come across another car, you have to just actually overtake it. There's no workaround. There's just, you have to go for the pass. I mean, I think drivers are sort of encouraged to be nice to other drivers. They don't have to
Yeah.
move out of the way, but they can defend, but probably, I mean, if they probably shouldn't. But I think it's due to the nature of the rest pit stops,
Right.
as we see
Okay.
that Didi and Balance have been asked to enter. So I think we're going to be getting underway pretty soon. Yeah, I'm just in shock at Johnny's lap. Still, but so you have Johnny on pole in the Corvette, and we know the Corvette, very powerful car, so it's gonna be tough to overtake.
Indeed.
And then we
Uh.
have Gecko Racer in the BMW. I don't have much experience with the BMW actually, but from what I've heard, it's a good car.
It's of all the Group 3 cars, it's probably the most balanced. It's got a good balance of power. A good balance of power. Sorry. Good turn in. Good corner entry. It's not. It is a very large car, but it doesn't feel like it's very large. It's only very large in size and mass. But it's a very, very nimble car.
Yes, the BMW, very very nimble car. I think it's also got a turbo, so it's a little bit tricky on the power coming out of slow speed corners. Right. But Spa is one of those tracks doesn't have many of those. And then we have Ismail, who's in the other Corvette. So the Corvette's showing very strongly today. We have Baldy in the green AMG. I love that livery actually. I think it looks fantastic.
Very bright, very green.
The AMG kind of a jack of all trades kind of car. So it's good on tires. It's very balanced, very stable. It's got decent top speed and power. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit understeery at times, but it's just, it's a solid car there. We have Guzas in the Lexus. I drove the Lexus, and I think it's a fantastic car. Maybe not the best for Spa, but we'll see. He's qualified fairly strongly, I believe. I think it was sort of 7th or 8th, but then obviously we have the likes of Goofy and Ray Belanta in the pits. It's Goofy.
The thing about all these cars is that sorry, you can go ahead.
No, I think we're about to get underway. So
I was just saying that the thing about all these cars is that they're all different in their own way. Yes, they may have some similarity in some parts, but all of them have like a very high strong point and maybe a very low weak point. And I think that's what the nature of just Group 3 GT racing has to offer. It's all about who can channel or find the perfect balance between all the cars that they're given.
Absolutely, that is the great thing about. I'm just gonna tell Johnny in chat it's left. Oh, I'll do it after this grid. So let's look at the grid. So here's how they line up: Johnny on pole, followed by Gecko, Balancer in third, and Goofy on the second row. Ismail, Baldy on the third row, Sean and Guzas on the fourth row. And then you have Defiant and Wiley, that's your top 10. Fubar, Machine, starting in 11th and 12th, and then Didi and Venom rounding out the back of the grid. That is your lineup for this race.
Who do you think is the race favorite today?
I mean, it's got to be Johnny, surely. if that was a legit lap time, which in terms of his car had a standard tune and all that sort of stuff, then you know, he's gonna lap the whole field probably. But I don't think it was. So for me, I'm looking at a three-way fight between Gianni, Gecko, and Ray Balanta. Let's see if the likes of Goofy can spring a surprise, because that Supra is a very strong car here, and the other thing to note, I think strategy is going to play a massive factor in this race, because the pit lane at Spa is long.
It is very, very long. Indeed it is. So we've got Gianni starting on medium tire. Gecko. Oh, it seems like a lot of people are starting on medium tire.
Tell me if anyone's not starting on the mediums.
Baldy is starting on hards. Who else? Baldy and Defiant are starting on hards. And so is Venom Snake.
Venom Snake. So Venom who's right at the back of the grid in the Dodge Viper, actually. Again, not a car I know too much about, but I have seen it in action, and it is a very fast car.
It's that V10, man. It's got too much torque for its own good sometimes.
Yeah, American muscle today, showing in droves. You got the Dodge Viper, and then you have I think there are 3 different Corvettes in the field with Gianni. I've seen Machine. I think he is in a Corvette as well. In a black Corvette.
Yes. So it's Gianni, Ismail, and Machine, all 3 in Corvettes.
And then you have Gecko and Balanta, both Ray Balanta, both in the BMW M6. Although I think they're in. Am I right in thinking they're in different in different BMWs? I think I'm right. So it looks like Gecko's in the M Power and Ray Balanta's in the Valkenhorst. So you can see. So you can see that
one
Balanta.
has spotlights and one doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. So they are technically different cars. So, he starts right. Hold on. Let me check race direction very quick. Because I don't think Gianni knows. Maybe he managed to check just beforehand.
Because it wasn't posted anywhere. I think that's why.
Pole is right. Pole is on the right.
All right.
Oh, let me just do that.
Oh, he's getting right. Okay.
There we go. There we go.
All right, there we go. So
unprecedented here. We've got just a little advice for the leader right before the race starts.
So Gianni controls this race. He is on pole on the right. When will he start getting away? Should be any time now. And he chooses now at the line.
There we go. And we're underway.
Very nice getaway from Gianni indeed, but Gecko is right behind, followed by Balanta. Goofy is keeping up with both BMWs. Ismail is falling just a little bit behind. Baldy is on the hard tire, but I'm sure that'll pay off dividends later in the race. Sean is looking around, trying to see if I can make a move.
And Goofy's already gone past Ray Balanta up into 3rd position, so that's a good start from.
And he's
and he's come back on right in front of Sean, but and he spun.
Oh no! He got on the power too. No. So that'll leave Goofy at the back at the start of this race. So as it stands, Gianni, Gecko, Ray Balanta, Ismail, Baldy, Sean, Defiant, Guzas, Wily Coyote, The Machine, Fubar, DD Rager, Venom Snake, and unfortunately Goofy has spun.
Oh, Fubar goes off, and he hits the wall, and he's got rear end damage.
So that is another thing we both forgot to mention. If you damage a part of your vehicle, you have to go into the pits. It will not fix itself. You need to go fix it, or else you will be struggling quite a bit.
Oh, he just got 2 wheels on the AstroTurf, and it completely threw him around, unfortunately.
Goodness. So there's two drivers who have suffered the fate of spinning, unfortunately. Gianni is quite a ways ahead of Gecko Racer, about just over half a second, with Ray Belanta over a second behind Gecko Racer. But coming into the first or the final braking zone of the lap, it looks like he's right up on him.
Yeah, so Gecko's managed to stay in the tow of Gianni. So we do actually have potentially a fight for the lead here. Although I know Gecko is quite a patient driver, so I don't think he's the kind of guy who would go for the move at the first opportunity. Although Gianni's pulling away down, the sheer power of that Corvette going down the hill. He's already. I think he maybe got that just about okay at the top of Radion.
I think he did. But as we're seeing, that Corvette is very, very quick in a straight line. He's pulled out a larger gap on him, on Gecko Racer, that is. But Gecko's still doing as much as he can without stressing too much to stay within the tow of him. One of the weaknesses of the Corvette, from what I've learned from driving it, it has a lot of tire wear towards the front, and it can, if you don't know how to manage the tires, it can be a little tricky to stay out up front.
Yeah. Let's look back through the field. So we have the top four, I think, separated by 3 seconds. I think Ismail's just about losing touch of the leaders, unfortunately. And then you have this kind of gaggle of cars behind Baldy, who's on the hard tires. I think that's a smart strategy from Baldy, because we know how chaotic the early stages can be, right? So
right.
If he ends up getting tangled with someone and having to pit for damage repair, he's got rid of the hard tires already. We know how slow those can be. But Sean already in that Peugeot, he's looking hungry. Oh, he gets a bit wide though.
Oh, he gets very, very wide.
Oh, he's still on the Astro.
That stuff is very, very slippery. Once you get on it, it is very hard to make up ground after getting on it. And he's just fallen just out of the tow, just as fast as he was in it. Defiant looking to maybe size up a move on him. Not now, though. Maybe for the next few corners.
Yeah, but it's put him into the clutches of Defiant and Guzas, and that whole train of cars behind us. Guzas actually has a penalty, so he's going to have to burn that on the start-finish straight, which he does in the correct place. So now we've got a battle for 6th position between Defiant and Why Not Sean. Two very different cars, the Peugeot and the Jaguar. And two very different colours, red and green.
It should be mentioned that the Jaguar is also one of those cars. It's very, very quick in a straight line. You may not think it is, and we may not think.
Oh no, I know how quick it is in a straight line. I had to race against the Jag last week. It was a bloody nightmare because it was at Le Mans, and the stupid Jag kept every straight it would just pull away from me, and I was in the Aston, so yeah, very frustrating. But Defiant not able to go for a move into Lecum just yet as Sean hops over the curbs. Properly freestyling. Well, this is a great shot. So I love the shot at the bottom of the hill. You can see all the cars kind of passing. So the top 3 kind of already going into. Well, they're now already at Pouon, and the back of the grid going through Rivage now. So let's have a look at the gap at the front, and Gecko's actually managed to keep Gianni in check.
Okay, so it's Gecko is making up ground as it seems. Belanta has also cut the gap down to Gecko. He's now within a second of him, so I'm sure he'll be trying to, unlike Gecko, you gotta keep in mind, these are very, very different drivers. Gecko is more of the patient kind. I haven't seen much from Belanta, but I'm thinking that he's going to be trying to make a move on him as soon as possible just to get it done and over with.
The other thing I've noticed is that, I'm sorry to interrupt again, it's lap 4 of the race, and there is already a noticeable fuel difference between the two drivers behind and Gianni in front. So Gianni is probably around about 80, maybe 80%, I want to say. Whereas I'm looking at Gecko and Blanton, they've managed to actually save quite a
Roughly
bit
the
more.
same
So
amount.
they've saved the same amount as each other, but more than Gianni. So we're gonna see how that plays out going further into the race. From memory, I think the drivers can do around about 12, maybe 13 laps on.
Is that
Oh, wait,
on
sorry,
mixed
no,
mode?
is that on fuel? No, maybe no. Sorry, my apologies. It might be around about 17 or 18 laps on fuel. So I don't know. I'm not entirely sure whether the what kind of strategy the drivers are thinking of using today, because it's going to be tricky. The pit lane's so long. Do you go all out, use that extra fuel, and then make an extra pit stop, or do you try to save and then not have to take an extra stop, save that a minute or whatever it is from doing that? Like what would you do in this situation, Ulos?
Well, from what it seems like, I think Gecko is actually trying to fuel save just a little bit. He's short shifting just a tad. But if I was in his shoes, or if I was in Gianni's shoes for that matter, if I can do it, if I have a big enough gap, or if I'm trying to get away, I'm going to use all the fuel on the straight. But I don't want to use too much fuel on the straight, you know? I want to still have enough left over so I can like not run out of fuel and just have enough to go to the end, or go to the end of my stint, so I'm not left stranded, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't be stranded because it's such a long lap. You'll lose. I mean, it would just cost you the race if you run out of fuel at Spa. Very little opportunity to sort of hobble your way back into the pits. But I'm looking here, and Sean's managed to drop Defiant. So I wonder if something happened to Defiant. He's now fallen into the clutches of Guzas.
I just want to say that Gianni has just gone purple. Although it's the early stages of the race, he did just go purple with I think it was 6 tenths faster. So we'll see what his lap is going to be looking like on heavy fuel load, for that matter. 3/4 of the tank, 75 liters, and he goes half a second faster.
Yep. 18.2, that's a very solid lap on medium tyres. Looking here at Defiant, he's on the hards, he's about to cross the start finish line. We'll see what his sort of pace is like. And he sets a 2:22, so that's quite similar to what he was doing on his previous lap, as Guzas looks at the move.
Inside. Kind of goes for it, but Back thinks better of it. Maybe he thinks that he can get him on the Camel straight, or maybe even into out of Radion.
Oh, he's so much faster than Defiant through Eau Rouge, and he had to actually back out the throttle. And I think that might hurt him, because Defiant, he's on the hard tyres and he had to check up, and Guzas wasn't really expecting it. But he did a good job to avoid Defiant. Now they're going into the braking zone of Lacombe. And I've just noticed here that Goofy, he's gone back up into 9th position, so that's a solid job from Goofy after that horrendous start. Well, he got up into 3rd and then just completely missed his braking point. He did the same thing last week at Le Mans, so maybe he needs to think about his first turn a little bit more next time. But yeah, doing a solid job right now. Past Wiley up into the top 10.
I think at this point for him, it's just head down, do what you can, and try not to worry about too much. Just make up places, make up position, make up time. Don't worry about anything else. Don't think about it, because if you think about it, it's gonna weigh on you more than you realized.
Yeah, you have to just forget about the mistakes, because absolutely, they're just gonna weigh you down. But I think he is pulling in Guzas. So the gap now coming down to, is that just over 5 seconds?
Trying to make a move. Just side by side, but that Jaguar has very much the better.
If you're going to look to the inside at Blanchimont, that's not really an overtaking spot, and he has to back out.
Thinks better of it, probably for the safety of both drivers.
And up ahead we have Sean versus Baldy as well, in a fierce battle for, I believe that's 5th position. Baldy still holding out on the hard tires.
I was just about to say, he's doing a very, very good job defending from Sean on those hard tires. The hard tire is not a tire you really want to be on. You want to be on the start. You want to be on the softest tire possible. And remember that you can only have 2 sets of softs. So with that being said, most of these drivers starting on the medium tire, with the exception of the few that you've seen, Baldy being one of them, and doing a very good job defending from Sean.
Yeah, I mean perhaps, oh no, I was going to say maybe Sean's fuel saving, but it does not look like it. So pulls to the inside, I think. Oh, Baldy has a massive hop on our screen. I don't know if you saw that, viewers, but yeah, that was brilliant. I know the bollards can make you very jumpy on this track. Oh, Sean goes to the dive bomb. There's contact.
Baldy's still holding on to 5th position for the time being. Oh, it seems that Guzas has finally made it past Defiance.
Oh, yeah, sorry, that was very ambitious from Sean. I mean, wasn't able to make it stick, unfortunately. But you know, no harm, no foul really. But now Guzas, he's only 2.3 seconds behind Sean after that, and yeah, and as Orlos mentioned, he's made his way past Defiant into 7th position. So good job from Guzas, and he's now going to set his sights on catching Sean. That could be quite an interesting race going forward.
It must be said, Gecko and Belanto are slightly falling away from Johnny. I think Gecko is actually trying to defend his position more than I would think he would. Or maybe he's just not worried about it. Maybe he could be just trying to save fuel and save tires. Maybe that's what they're both doing, trying not to fight each other so much. But if someone messes up, then they're going to capitalize on it. So
yeah, there's no use fighting so hard so early in the race. Definitely wise to mention. As I see, Goofy pops into 8th position, so he's now. What happened to Guzas?
I'm not sure.
So he was in 7th.
Right, and he had a fairly big gap on him too.
Oh, someone went for a move. I think it was Defiant, and Guzas got reset.
Oh, that would do it.
Let's take another look at that. So Defiant from absolutely nowhere flashes the lights and then just sends one up on Guzas. And then Guzas, the unfortunate victim, gets reset, and he's now been passed by Goofy, unfortunately for him.
Oh man,
that's tough. That's so tough. But he's got, you know, he's still got 3 hours left to make that up. But yeah, quite an ill-advised move from Defiant there. You know, he could have shown a bit more patience. But it's allowed Goofy to now hop up into 7th position. So slowly he's making his way forward. His last lap 2:19.3. Let's compare that to Sean. So Sean is running sort of in the 2:20s, and his last lap at 2:22.6. But we know he made that mistake. So Goofy could be looking at catching Sean by the pit phase. What do you think?
I think he might be able to. Goofy, he's on the medium tire. His tires are slightly better than Sean's, but only just. That super is no joke in a straight line. It has to be said several times over, just so you realize. But I think he might be able to catch him. Sean is doing 2:20s. His best was a 2:20.1. His last was 2:22 though.
Yeah.
Goofy's doing 2:19.3. I think he could catch him in just a few laps.
Just by way of comparison, so Goofy in 7th is faster than Ismail in 4th. So that could be one to watch out for. Meanwhile, the 2 BMWs are still inseparable for 2nd position.
Fubar just came out of the pit, so I guess after he hit his first lap, sorry, after this first lap, he didn't go into the pit straight away. He actually waited and took a little bit. Realized that it was losing him too much time, just went ahead and decided to fix the problem. But it should also be mentioned, I don't think Gianni is fuel saving or tire saving at all. He's almost at 50% fuel, while Gecko and Balanta, they are just about 60. So Gianni is doing a very, I think he's on a push mode, trying to get as far as he can from everybody else and keep that up for the next few stints. While Gecko and Balanta are just fuel saving, doing their thing, hoping that they can come out on top for the later stages of the race.
The gap's only 2.2 seconds between Gecko and Gianni. And I'm looking here, and I think Gecko's got slightly better tires on that BMW, so we might be seeing the Corvettes starting to struggle on those sets of medium tires. I'm not sure when the drivers are going to be thinking about making a pit stop. I haven't actually done any practice on this, despite the fact I was potentially going to be racing today. But yeah, that's one to watch. So we'll have to come back to battle the leaders come the pit stop phase, I think a little bit later. But looking here, there's a battle for 8th position between Defiant and Guzas, with Wiley in the Lamborghini not too far behind.
I would like to say that I really do like Wiley's livery. It is actually a take on it was a 400 lap edition. It's a 400 lap edition of the Daytona 24-hour livery.
Oh, there's a battle for 8th position, and Guzas has got past, I think.
Oh wow, he did.
Yeah.
If we could get a replay on that, please.
Yeah. And I think Defiant just let him go. Yeah. So I don't know if Defiant had previously conceded the position, but yeah, that's now Guzas up into 8th position. Yeah, he's just been really unfortunate at the start, but he's still running in the top 10, and he's only 4 seconds behind Goofy. So yeah, again, anything could happen for him. But is Wiley? No, Wiley's not very close to Defiant. The field's quite spread out, hasn't it, Orloz?
After 10 laps, yes it is. The front runners still doing their thing, but because of the few mistakes that we have seen and just the let's call them ambitious moves from some drivers and the less fortunate, it's been relatively quiet. Like, I mean, the gap between Fubar and the person in front of him, I guess from that mistake or that crash he had in lap 1, it cost him. Because he's now 2 minutes down on the person in front of him.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, he's already been lapped by, I believe, the top 4. And Baldy, is he? How close is he to Fubar? Yeah, so Baldy's now going to be coming up on Fubar, who's going to be being shown the blue flags. So that's not the start that Fubar wanted, and it's just imperative not to get any damage on this track, because the pit lane will kill you. It's so long.
It's very, very long. Let's see. I think Venom Snake might be trying to make up some lost ground to the Machine. Machine in the Corvette, Venom in the Viper. 2 classic battles. If you remember Le Mans from back then, even IMSA or...
It looks to me like they're on very different strategies here, because Venom, he's got around about 50% of fuel. So I think maybe he's going for a longer kind of stint. Whereas Machine, he's looking like he's got 10 to 12% less. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, so a big difference.
Tire difference too. Venom is on hard tires. He's been on the hard tires since the start of the race. The Machine is on mediums, and they look like they might fall off a cliff very soon.
Yeah. So Venom, he's playing the long game here. He could be looking at a top 10 finish.
Goofy gets a penalty after going slightly wide at the top of Radion.
That's very unfortunate
So
for Goofy, because he was quite close to Sean. Yeah.
But Wiley might be trying to make a move on the final, or trying to set one up for in the coming laps. He is very, very close indeed. He was very close a few minutes, just like almost a minute ago.
Let's ride on board with Wiley as he chases down Defiant, drifting that Lambo a little bit through Rivage, now into X, or No Name as it's been known. He misses the apex quite a lot, loses a bit of time to Defiant, but now it's the double left-hander of Puon. This is I think one of the best corners on the track for sure, possibly even the best. And he's starting to close up a little bit more. I think his rear tires don't look particularly great, do they?
No, they do not. I've heard many things about the Lambo. Not all good, but it's the Lambo and the Audi that I've heard that are very, very tricky cars to get down. And once you do get them down, you can lose it in just an instant, in the blink of an eye. So
he's caught Defiant. Wiley's caught Defiant quite rapidly through the final part of the lap. Defiant goes defensive.
He's had to let off, just not run into the back of him.
Oh, into Blanchimon.
No, he doesn't. He's going to try and make a move into the bus stop. No, he's too far back.
We pulled out. He thought about it.
He thought about it for just half a second, and then he was like, no, it's too dangerous. Patience is the game. Patience is most definitely the game.
What do you think would be a good result for Wiley today? Like, what do you think he'll be aiming for?
I think he can get 8th, 7th or 8th.
Yeah. I think you know that Lambo, he'll definitely want to beat the likes of Defiant, maybe Guzas. That said, you know, he wouldn't be too displeased with the top 10, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's go back to leaders. So the gaps have largely unchanged, although Ray Balanza has lost the slipstream of Gecko Racer. So the gap's now gone up to 1 second, just 1 second between the pair of them, and there's only 3 seconds separating Gianni from Ray Balanza. So that their paces are very evenly matched, actually.
218.7 was Gecko's best lap. His last lap was a 219, whereas Balanza, his last lap was also a 219. 218.4 was his best lap. So they are, I think they're on similar strategy. May even be the same strategy, but the top three are quite very much in a league of their own. A 10-second gap between 3rd and 4th place.
Yeah, it'll be curious to see how this one hots up. As Ray Balanza runs very wide out of Blanchimon. I wonder, is that going to be a penalty, or does he get away with it? I think he just about got away with that one. Good job on his part, because his tires may still be feeling the effects of that.
Right.
He's still within touching distance of the leaders, though. As you see, Ismail Truth is just about to cross the start-finish line. He's sort of in his own socially distanced bubble, Ismail.
Indeed, he's quite at the moment. It's a relatively lonely race, but he's not too far behind. He's still in the top 5, which is really, really good. Hell, for me, the top 10 is very good. All these drivers, obviously, they want to win. They want to do the best they can. But if nothing changes, then you just have to hope something changes. And if this is, I don't think this is finishing order, but races.
Oh, it's 13. We're 13 laps in. I would be quite appalled if it was finishing order.
Yeah, I highly doubt this is finishing order. You just have to hope for other people to mess up. Obviously, it's unfortunate if they do, but it's at the same time it's to your benefit.
Oh, and I think Goofy's made a move on Sean, so let's take a look at that. Was it down the Camel Straight? And it looks like, look at Goofy, he's just got so much more speed in that Supra, and he just breezes by Sean into the braking zone. So good job, Goofy, and Baldy is only a couple of seconds ahead of him now. So Goofy must be licking his lips a little bit.
Goofy most definitely on the push, but you have to remember that he is on the medium tire. Baldy's been doing a very, very good job on those hard tires in the AMG. But I think he might be looking to stop within the next few laps. His fuel is just about 30%, maybe 40. That's like halfway between 25 and 50.
So around about 35 for Goofy, and I would say for Baldy maybe about 30. They've got very similar fuel levels actually, Baldy and Goofy. It's just Baldy will have the advantage that he's already used the hard tires, but I think Goofy's got some pace today.
Let's see. His last lap was 2:19.0.
2:19.
Baldy's been doing very consistent. The last few laps, 2:20s, with one 2:21 in between. Well, two now. It seems that Balanta has fallen just slightly.
Oh, someone's spinning.
Straight.
Oh, what Wiley? What's happened to him there? So he was battling. He was battling with Defiant. Still behind him, and Defiant picked up a penalty. And oh, and Wiley. Oh, look at Wiley. He got very tail happy out of the bus stop. But he's now. But now Defiant's burnt his penalty, so Wiley's managed to make his way up into 9th position. So good job on his part. And now, yeah, he can set his sights on Guzas, who's just under 7 seconds up the road in his Lexus. But yeah, oh, I'm looking at Goofy now. Goofy is 1.3 behind Baldy and catching. Let's ride on board with Goofy as he goes into the double left-hander of Puon.
Sorry about that, had to answer the door.
I'm back now. Yeah, it seems that Balanta is falling just astray of Gecko. 2/10 gained in this last lap for Gecko. Defiant is still on Wiley, but he's also on the hard tire.
But we know that, you know, the guys who've got the hard tires out of the way, all the drivers will have to use the hard tires at some point. So maybe Baldy and Defiant have played a blinder by getting it in early, and then they won't have to deal with that pain later on in the race.
I think Defiant might be trying to go for a move. Round the outside, could he do it? No.
Wiley's just about able to hold on.
Slight bump. That was, I guess Wiley just let him go because he's going to pit.
Yep, Wiley's pitted. So he's the first driver to make his pit stop. So we'll see what he does in a moment's time. Just going back to the leaders here. So Jani, he's crept into the 2:19s. But he's now, his gap to Gecko Race has gone up to 3.4 seconds. So again, a very strong showing from GTS Vijani, who he must love this track. I mean, I love this track, and I'm not Belgian, so I can't imagine as a Belgian the pride and joy you must feel from being able to race.
So Wiley is doing I guess he's not taking a break. He's just put on new tires,
and he's gone onto hards.
just slightly over halfway, like 55 liters of fuel.
Very interesting. So he pit on lap 14. To me, what kind of strat does that suggest?
I think he's gonna.
Because
He
the way
might
he
be trying to play it long.
no, I mean the way he's fueled, it looks like he's fueled to around about, I'd say like lap 30 maybe.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I think because he must. Did he do any practice in coming weeks to this race or no?
Probably.
If he did,
I think all the drive.
if he did,
Yeah.
he probably did a tire stint practice. So he only lasted like the tires last like maybe 13, 14 laps on medium tire, and now he's going to do a hard tire stint, and he's filled up to I guess when the hard tire will run out or fall off, basically. So this could work out for him very well.
So I'm just looking here, and that pit stop cost him roughly just under 40 seconds. So he changed the tires and he put some fuel in the car. So we'd say, yeah. So his pit stop was just under 40 seconds. So maybe if you were to put tires and change a full tank of fuel, probably around about 45 to 50 seconds. So maybe Wiley's just trying to keep his car light and fast.
Just notice, Goofy is up to 6th place, and he's right behind Baldy. It's giving that he has run just
he's
a
pushing
little bit wide.
And that might give him a penalty, but yeah, Goofy's pushing very hard.
It seems he's fine. So Goofy, after spinning during lap 1, has made up. Well, sorry, lap 2. That is, he has made up quite a significant margin of ground. Do you think he could be on for a podium?
Well, let's have a look. So he's 14 seconds behind Ismail Truth. I mean, anything's possible. 14 seconds in a race of this length. I think Goofy's got a bit of a pace advantage on Ismail. So if he can, but he's gonna have to get past Baldy. Baldy goes defensive into Puon. They're gonna go side by side.
Side by side. Oh, had to just fall back just a little bit.
Goofy tried to go for the cutback, but Baldy wasn't having anything of it. Parked his car on the apex, and now again, I think Baldy knows that he's in a race with Goofy, so he's not making this one easy. And you can see that decal on the back of his car. It says "None shall pass," and so far he's living up to the name.
Irish Ministry of Defense right here.
Well, Goofy, he's got the slip,
like
and he's going to try around the outside into Blanchimont. This is a very, very difficult overtaking spot.
He's hoping that.
Oh, Baldy's already shoved him wide.
Hopefully he doesn't get a penalty for that, because I think that was just on the white line, and I think he's fine. Is he going to go for it? No, he's not. He's going to wait. Maybe he's going to get him into the first, into La Source. Maybe he's going to try and get him at the top of the radio.
Oh, it's Why Not Sean makes his first pit stop, and he was running very low on fuel. So we'll have to monitor where Sean eventually feeds back out and what tires he puts on. I reckon he'll probably still be ahead of the likes of Wiley once he's made his pit stop.
So Sean doing the last few laps doing 221s on similar state of mediums than Goofy. Goofy doing 222 his last lap. But the laps before that, I think the 221s and 222s because he's been fighting with Baldy, as Baldy goes defensive, late move, but he gets it done.
Yeah, and that's just the power of the Supra. It's steaming past
Baldy. And he
Baldy.
goes fast as first sector.
Yeah. So good job from Goofy. He's up into 5th position, but he's going to have to pit very soon. Probably, I'd say Goofy pits probably in the next couple of laps, given where his gauge is at.
GD Rager got really loose in.
So DD Rager, he's up into 8th position, and Why Not Sean has slotted out right behind him on another set of medium tires.
this battle between Goofy and Baldy is very, very intense. As Baldy goes straight past him into pole.
I did not see that move. We'll have to check a replay of that. So what happened here? So, oh, it looks like Goofy got very wide through the middle part of the corner, and Baldy just says, "Thank you very much. I'll have that." And he goes up into 5th position. So good job from Baldy there. And let's see, I mean, that's a good old ding-dong battle between the two ARC supervisors. I think Goofy's tires are a little bit dead, to be honest.
You think so?
I mean, look at that. They don't look great at this stage.
I'm doing a pace comparison. Baldy still on those hard tires from the start of the race.
Oh, Goofy looks to the outside, going to the bus stop. Is he able to break later? No, Baldy just about holds position. I wonder if either of them's going to pit. Nope. They both stay out. Yeah.
Just as a reminder, the longer you're on the softer compounded tire and the longer you're stuck behind someone, you're only hurting yourself. So it's faster to get moves done quicker than sooner than later. Pace comparison, Baldy has just done a 221. Goofy just did a 220 his last lap, and the lap before that both were 225s, 222.5, 222.7. I think Goofy's gonna have to pit this lap. If he can get in front of him and hold on to it for the whole lap, I think he's gonna be able to pit this lap.
We're just looking here at Venom Snake here. We haven't talked much about Venom. But he's running in 13th position, 51 seconds behind Fuba, and you can see that Jani, the overall leader, is about to come up and put a lap on Venom. Although Venom's made his pit stop, whereas I think Jani, I mean, look, he's in the red now, so Jani's going to be making a pit stop very shortly.
Volanta and Gecko are very close again, so I'm not hoping, but I'm thinking that Gecko maybe had a moment some time ago,
and they've both got a lot more. They've both got a lot more fuel. So actually, I think this is what's happening here. So we have the two BMWs. I think they're going to try and hit lap 20 and go for that 3-stop strategy. Whereas I think Jani, he's going to be. Is he going to box this lap?
In this lap? Yes, he.
No, he stays out.
So next lap he'll be boxing because I don't think he'll have fuel to do it.
Wow, that's gonna be tough. I think he's gonna have to. The problem is that Jani's got now is that he's gonna try and compromise to get onto Gecko and Ray Volanta's strategy, but the problem is he's gonna have to do one or two stints which are over 20 laps, and that's gonna require some very, very cunning fuel calculations on his part. But we know what Johnny's capable of. I think he was a solid Tier A driver back in Season 6 as Goofy makes his first pit. So Goofy makes his first pit of the race. He was behind Baldy.
Volanta sizing a move on Gecko, and he goes for it after the Camel Straight, and he's got it done.
Yep. And it looked like Gecko didn't fight that one too hard. So it's fine for the time being. You know, the two BMWs, they're just swapping positions at this early stage, and they both look like they've got enough fuel to go another couple of laps. So let's see what Goofy does, because he's not doing his brake and he's immediately switching tires, getting the fuel in the car. I mean, that's a fantastic looking livery there from Goofy. So let's see what he goes on to. And he goes on to a set of hards.
Interesting.
So let's see what his pace is like compared to Baldy's. So Baldy must be in this lap. So I think a number of drivers are going to funnel into the pit lane. Yeah, a number of drivers are going to come into the pit lane on this lap. I mean, you've got the likes of Baldy, who's got pretty much nothing. Jani. Oh, is that a little battle there for 12th position? It looks like it. we'll firstly see if Johnny goes into the pits, and then we'll cut to the battle. And indeed, Johnny does. So now let's look at Venom against Didi, and it looks like Venom in the power of that that Viper's just going to go past the Aston, no problem whatsoever. Now Venom now onto a new set of medium tyres, so he started the race on the hards, now onto the mediums, so he's going to look to work his way up through the field, making fairly light work of Didi, I have to say. But Didi now onto the hard tyres, so I think that makes sense, given, yeah, I mean you have to use the hards at some point, so it might as well be now. So that's allowed both Belanta and Gecko to go into first and second positions. Okay, so no change for Johnny, and Johnny fuels to the max and puts on the hard tyres. And I think Orlos has gone to open another door, so it'll just be me for the time being, but that's fine. And then, yeah, I think that's him back. Hello, Orlos.
Sorry about that.
Another door got you?
No, I actually had to go do something, but I'm back now.
Do something very mysterious. Let's hope the race keeps that amount of mystery as well going through. So Johnny's come back out. He's now into 4th position, and well, let's have a look here. So Goofy has managed to jump Baldy in the pits.
So okay, did Baldy pit a lap before Goofy, or
so Goofy pit first? Goofy
okay,
pit first.
Goofy
So now he's ahead of Baldy, and Baldy's got the medium tires. So this is going to be an interesting one, you know. It's complete role reversal.
The role has been reversed, so now it's Goofy on the hard tire, where before the pit stops, it was Baldy on the hard tire. Okay.
Yeah, so they're going to resume the battle.
Into the pits?
Yep. Oh, Gecko's in. Oh, so Gecko. So Ray Belanta decides to go one more lap and really cement the, you know, that fuel advantage, whereas Gecko sort of thought, nope, I'm just going to come in. So we'll see where he comes out in relation to Johnny. Meanwhile, I'm looking at this battle for 5th position between Baldy and Goofy, and Baldy is right on the tail of Goofy.
Neither driver letting up, trying to be as fair and hard as possible. Looks for a move. Baldy's looking for a move, but it just doesn't come. So he's gonna try and get him out of. Forgive me, I don't remember.
That's Campus, and then this is Stabilo.
All right.
And so Baldy, he's tucked right into the slipstream of Goofy. Maybe he's gonna think about making probably not a move into Blanchimon. Goofy goes defensive. Is he gonna go for a cutback here? He's so close on the gearbox of Goofy. Goofy goes defensive. Baldy goes to the outside and just brakes later. But Goofy lets off a bit, but he goes wide. Baldy does the cutback, and that is a brilliant move by Baldy.
Very, very good.
Let's take a look at that on the replay. That was fantastic. Yeah.
That could be race defining. That these two drivers are very, very, very close. But as I said, anything can happen in this race. Anything can happen at all. So even like maybe 10, 15 laps later, Goofy might do the same thing onto him into the same exact chicane.
Well, Baldy's already managed to pull 1.6 seconds from Goofy. I think Goofy must know that Baldy's on the medium tyres, so he has to think, you know, is this... Yeah, he has to be thinking about the bigger picture here. You know, Baldy's gonna get clear, but I just need to keep him in touch, and then maybe try and make sure I can catch him later on in the race. But he completely sold Goofy there, and just, you know, for bag and fish and chips.
So he did do one extra lap
Yep.
over Gecko. So he's going to have that one extra lap tire advantage.
Yeah, so Johnny and Gecko both now on the hard tires. We'll see what Balanta goes onto, but I wouldn't be surprised if he just copied the strategy of those two as well. We have Ismail Truth. Ismail's on the soft tire, so that's the first of his set. His
He's
soft sets.
he's the only driver on the softs as of now. Johnny putting on a set of tires, putting in a load of fuel as well. I do have to say, a very nice livery for Balanta. DSRT, Dominican Racing Sim Team.
I'm just looking here at why not Sean. So Sean is on a set of mediums, and he's catching Goofy. Is Sean. So that could be one to watch, a battle for 6th position in the coming laps.
Balanta has made it. He's overcut. Oh no, sorry, he's undercut Gecko because he's now in front.
Yep, good job from Ray Balanta. So he now goes onto a set of hard tires, getting that stint over the way. Although Gecko's gonna have the run, and is he gonna go straight past, or no? He's gonna. I think he's saving fuel, maybe. Yeah, it looks like he's just playing. You know, I know Gecko. He's a crafty boy, so he's just playing the long game.
Completely. Did you see Gecko? Did he fill up completely?
So yeah, Gecko filled up. All three of the top three filled up completely, but they pitted on different laps. So because Balanta, he just came out of the pits, he's got, you know, full tank of fuel, whereas Gecko, he pitted a lap before, so he got slightly less than Ray Balanta. So I mean, but they're so close on strategy. They're surely thinking that, you know, we've got to just work together to catch the Corvette ahead. But yeah, I expect the gap to maybe just creep down. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Let's look at Ismail. So he's on the soft tire. He's the first one on the soft tire, and he's just having a race by himself. It's Ismail.
So it seems. Baldy had just did a personal best last lap, a 2:19.5. Relative to everyone else, Johnny did a 2:22 last lap. The lap before Balanta pitted was a 2:19.6, and the lap before Gecko pitted was a 2:20. So these laps are not too far apart. Still...
I have to say, Baldy's doing a tremendous job here. He's only 9.5 behind Ismail, as I see. Is this the BMW swapping position again? I think it is. And it looks like Ray Balanta's... Oh, no. I think Gecko... I don't know what happened there, but I thought Gecko got past, but never mind. Yeah, Baldy's only 9.6 behind Ismail. He's used the hard tires already. Ismail is currently on a set of softs. So Baldy must be thinking he's in a very good position. And, you know, if one of the top three, if they... I don't know, look at that, 19.1. Yeah, Baldy's on a mission.
Well, you have to remember the crossover time between hard tire and medium tire. The votes have been reversed between Goofy and Baldy, so he might end up fighting him again sometime down the line.
Yeah.
If Baldy keeps this pace up, he could be on for 4th by the end of maybe lap 40. He could be in 4th by lap 40.
We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. Ismail, he's on the soft tires. Maybe he's just taking it easy to start with. You know, make sure that they can last later on in the stints. But his first lap, nothing particularly special. An 18.8, 9/10 slower than Johnny's best, which was on the medium tires. So I'm surprised at Ismail a bit, because he was very, very quick, I think, in the first round of the season, and his pace just hasn't really materialized since then.
I think it's a matter of, well, if you don't really have anyone to, if you don't really have anyone to defend for, you just have to keep up your own pace. Don't really try and waste tires or waste fuel when you don't need to. Just do your own thing.
No, he's doing his
So I don't think he's
own
worried
thing.
about it.
I suppose with Ismail, I think he's got the potential to be up there with the likes of Jani and Balanta and Gecko in this race, but I haven't seen, you know, he's a very clean racer, but I haven't seen that sort of fire that sets you apart from him. I'm just wondering if he's maybe a bit too cautious, and he needs to a bit more risk taking here, like, you know. But he's slowly pulling away from Baldy and slowly catching up to Gecko. So
Easy
yeah,
does it.
yeah, he'll be there towards him throughout the race, and does an 18.5, so he's starting to build it up again. Let's have a look further down the field. So Sean is only 1.2 seconds behind Goofy. A good job from Sean.
Very good job indeed. His last lap was a 2:19.8, just a few hundredths faster than his previous best, which he did on lap 20. He just completed lap 23. That gap between him and the Super doesn't seem to be going down all that much. Doesn't seem to be changing all that much. So these cars are very evenly balanced in terms of straight line speed. Goofy,
I don't know about that. I think Goofy, the Supra is.
I say that, and now he's pulled out half a second on him. So
yeah, I remember at Monza that Peugeot was absolutely awful in a straight line. It's very good through the corners. So around Interlagos, which was the handling track, it felt like a dream. And I imagine it probably feels excellent through the middle sector, but on the straights it's a little bit dead in the water there. Let's go back a bit further through the field. So we have a decent battle brewing up between Guzas and Defiant for 8th position. In fact, I think Guzas may have just gotten past Defiant, so good job on his part. He just did a nice.
I'm looking at Defiant's tires. Tires aren't all that great. He's got a lower fuel load though compared to Guzas. So I'm thinking that maybe they have to be on a different strategy. Maybe just filling up until you run out of fuel, or fill up till you need to pit. Whereas Defiant, he's maybe only filling up where you need to, like filling up for your whole stint only. So.
Yeah, I've just noticed here that Wiley's actually made his second pit stop, so this is his out lap. So he did a very short stint on the hard tyres, and he's now come back out on another set of mediums. And he's 3.6 seconds behind Venom, but I think he is catching Venom. Venom, who's on sort of a worn set of mediums. So I think Wiley should be. Yeah, he should be able to catch pretty soon. Let's have a look at the leaders again. So Jani's gap's now gone up to almost 6 seconds. And I think, do you know what? I think Jani's maybe given up on the fuel saving, because he's got a lot less now than Balanta and Gecko, and he's just sort of thought, right, I'm gonna have to just be faster.
So it seems that I would assume that normally if it's any other driver, I would assume that they would try to get their position back, but I think Gecko is really playing the long, patient game and is waiting till it really matters most.
Gorilla Gaz in chat says, afternoon everyone. Afternoon Gorillas. Gorilla Gaz. Gorilla Gaz.
Good afternoon.
Comment for you, or question for you rather. Are all of the Race Asylum drivers, are they named after animals? So we have... Well, okay, no they're not, because I know King is a driver. But you have, I suppose it's the theme, you have Gecko Racer, Gorilla Gaz, I mean these are great names. Your boy's doing pretty well actually, so he's up in 3rd position, and I think he's got a reasonable chance of a victory here. Is in a fight with the DSRT driver of Ray Balanta, DSRT being the Dominican sim racing team. I know he's flying with the U.S. flag, but from speaking to Ray Belanta, I think he's a Dominican driver. He's a very fast driver. So those two very evenly matched, actually, both in the same car. Yeah, Jerry Bear in chat refuting my claim there, but yeah. So it appears that Johnny is now on the hard tires. He's going for it. So his last lap was a 2:20.1 compared to Belanta, who did a 2:21.2. Although I don't know if there's a little bit of battling involved there, but Johnny was over a second quicker.
So I think he is going for it. I think he's trying to get rid of the hard tire as fast as possible.
Yeah.
It's not a tire you really want to be on unless you're playing the long game, which I don't think he is. He started on the medium tire, so he wants to just get it done and over with. You have to use all three compounds.
Well, I'm just a bit surprised because I mean, yeah, I think Johnny maybe he's thought, you know what, he's gonna have to pull a gap though in order to fight these BMWs, because I think at the rate he's going, it looks like he's gonna have to take that extra pit stop. So if it's an 80 lap race, if you're pitting every 20 laps, you're gonna pit 3 times for 4 stints. But if you're burning the fuel faster than 20 laps, then you're gonna have to do an extra stop. And I think Gianni knows that, and so he's thought, right, well, you know, I'm just not going to be able to do a 3-stop. Like, the Corvette's not good enough on the fuel to do that. So he's going for it a bit more. But the gap's going up. So I think this could be a very smart strategy from Gianni. If he can get it going. Oh yeah, Gecko is a very quick driver. I've raced him a couple of times, only. Hoping to. It would have been fun to race today, but it's also very fun to do this broadcast for you. So yeah, glad that you guys can join us, and hopefully the racing's good. As we see the machine coming out of the pits, we've not talked a lot about the machine. It looks like he didn't change the tires, so maybe he got damage or something. I'm not entirely sure. I think, yeah, he's still on the same hard tires that he was on earlier. But he's now a lap down on Gianni, and it looks like Fubar is, yeah, Fubar's not had a great time so far. He's 4 minutes and 29 seconds down, and he's actually about to get lapped by Ranger in 12th position. So not the start that Fubar wanted, but he's still got time to pick himself up from that. And it looks like he's on the medium tires now, so I think he must have started on. No, he made a pit stop, didn't he? He was on the hards, I think, for a brief period. Right? I think Orlos has gone to the bathroom again. Okay, so yeah, we have we're now 25 laps roughly into the race. We'll give you a rundown of the order. We have Gianni in first position. He's currently 7.5 seconds ahead of Ray Belanta in second place. Close behind him is Gecko in third, and they're going to be battling for the entire 3 hours. It looks like the two BMW drivers very close in pace. You have Ismail Truth in fourth position, having a quiet race, but you know, doing a solid job. Fourth position, nothing to be sniffed at. He's pulling away from Baldy in fifth place. 14.3 seconds the gap. So Baldy in fifth, doing a great job. Goofy in sixth. Starting to lose sight of Baldy, but he's also pulling away from Sean. He's a very up and down race so far, Goofy, but you know, he's got a lot of time left to get it all together, and I'm sure he'll be hoping to challenge for at least top 5, maybe even you know, 4th position or something like that. I think he would love that. We have why not Sean, one of our only Indian drivers actually. So for Sean, I think it's going to be evening time now. What's the time difference? Five and a half hours, I think. So it's going to be 10 p.m. where Sean is. So he's stayed up late to give us a good one. And yeah, he's driving the RCZ, a great car. Nice, simple, clean red livery. Love that. And he's doing a fine job. Guzas, we've not talked a lot about. He's running in 8th position, doing a great job in the Lexus. In 9th place we have Defiant in the Jag. 1 minute behind Jani in the lead. But again, he's doing a good job. He started on the hard tyres, so he's probably going to make his way up later on in the race. We have Wiley. Oh, Wiley is in a battle with Venom Snake for 10th place. So Wiley in the Lamborghini, in the very colourful Lamborghini, followed by Venom in 11th in the what's that? That's the Dodge Viper. That's the Dodge Viper. So that's a good battle going on there. I know Wiley's on a very strange strategy today. Oh, gets a little bit out of shape coming out of La Source. But yeah, good job from Wiley. And then we have Didi in 12th. I've just noticed that is Tomcat on the front of his car. Love Tom. And he's in the Aston Martin DB1, the GT1, DBR9, I think. Yeah, DBR9. And he's about to be lapped by the race leader Jani. And then we have in 13th position the Machine. He's making his 400 laps debut. So just sort of getting to grips with it, and he's just, I think, letting the 2 BMW drivers go. So yeah, sponsored by some Scotch whiskey. He'll be looking to have a little bit of that after the race. I know I would. And then Fubar having a lonely race down in 14th in the BMW Z4. Again, not a car I would have picked for this championship, but you know, it's a stable car. I know that there are definitely drivers who are able to extract pace from it. So, but Fubar, he's just not quite had the rub of the green so far. But you know, anything can happen. We're only 27 laps in, and you know, we've still got another 53. That's if my math serves me correct. 53 laps for other drivers to get damaged, to get penalties, and all that sort of stuff. So, Fubar's just got to keep his head down and stay in the game. And he'll be able to, you know, he'll still be able to have good on-track battles, I think, later on in this race. I'm just looking here. Jani's really extended his gap now. So his last lap was a 19.2 on hard tyres. So Jani, he's got the grip between his teeth, and he's really opened up that gap between Gecko and Ray. So I think, what do you do in this position if you are Gecko? Do you respond to this pace, or do you stick to your own strategy? It's a tough place to be in, but I think he's worked something out, and that is pace is king.
I have returned. I'm sorry for suddenly disappearing again.
That's totally fine.
I see that Gecko has made it back in front of Volanta.
Yeah.
So what had happened? Did he just
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I got confused which one's ahead of the other at each stage of the race. What's curious to me is that Jani has absolutely extended his advantage.
Oh my goodness! 11 seconds between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what he needs to do. is he's going to have to make up that fuel deficit. I think he's going to have to get around about 40 seconds, between 30 and 40 seconds before his final pit stop to be in with a shout against those two drivers behind him. So maybe this is not the stage for panic for Gecko and Ray Belanta, but surely they must be at least a little bit concerned that Gianni has now decided to open up the valves and really give that Corvette a run.
I think his strategy here is just to push as hard as you can on the hard tire, get rid of it, and then go back to fuel saving just a little bit. Because that's what he was doing at the start of the race. He was fuel saving quite a bit, and then he decided to, you know what, I'm just going to put on the medium tire. I'm going to put on the hard tire and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Gianni, he was 1.6 seconds clear on qualifying. We're almost expecting him to run away with it, but we're being treated to a strategic battle here between, I think it's the 3-stop versus the 4-stop. So Gianni really going for it, which is what you want to see, actually. You want to see drivers driving their own race and giving 100%, but in their own way. I think the Corvette was always going to struggle to make 20 laps on a fuel tank. But yeah, we'll have to see towards the end. I mean, if it's one of those things, if Gianni comes out behind but he catches up to the back of Belanta and Gecko, you have to ask, what are they going to be able to do?
Right.
But we'll have to see if that happens. Gianni's just set a 2:18.9 on a set of hard tires. That is a ferociously quick lap. He's only a second slower than, as we see, Fubar getting half a second penalty, so he's going to have to burn that on the Camel Straight. That might allow Gianni to have a nice, easy pass on him, and indeed he does. Let's have a look at Gianni. So he's actually purple through the first sector. Let's see here. He uses a lot of curb, and then gets a good run out of Malmedy, now going down the hill.
Right.
And again, he likes that tight line through Rivage. I think we were talking about this earlier. A lot of drivers opting for that today. Maybe it's just the conditions that are allowing for drivers to keep it nicely there. And let's see what the Corvette's like through Pool 1. Really, you can feel the understeer on the tires, but he uses all of the track. Now goes to the outside. And here into Fania, so uses the curb on entry. Keeps it tight. Now the second part. It just lets the car run to the out wide. Now into Campus. This is another very quick lap from Gianni. He's only 7/10 slower than his fastest lap, which was, you know, as a reminder, that lap was set on medium, so he is on a mission right now. And the gap's gone up to just under 14 seconds. Oh, as Gecko's stuck behind DD Rager, as DD pulls out, and that allows for Gecko to go. I wonder if he's gonna. Oh, it looks like he's turning in on Ray Belanta. There's a little bit of contact, and I don't think Ray Belanta is going to be too happy about that. But there are no blue flag rules in this race, so DD Rager more than entitled to hold his line there.
So DD Rager, I'm guessing he's just getting lapped right now.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright. So the gap between Gianni and Gecko has been pulled out another 2 seconds, so his last 2 laps were 2:18, so he is on the move.
I've just noticed that Venom Snake going onto a new set of soft tires. And he's only 1.5 seconds behind DD. It looks like he's pitted twice already, so Venom, you know, he's thinking, I'm gonna keep the car light and I'm gonna keep the car fast. So now let's see what he can do on the soft tires, whether he's going to close up to the back of Didi. I'm just going through the grid. It looks like a lot of the drivers are sort of spaced out, so the gaps are kind of quite spaced out, aside from Venom, who's just come out on soft tires. Oh, he gets a little bit wrong at Ravage. Let's ride on board with him. Well, I'm looking at his lap times on the right hand side, and he's kept it quite consistent actually. His laps just, you know, you're seeing how the tires slowly going off, and how his lap times have just gone, you know, 21.9. Baldy's left the room. Baldy has left the room. Disaster.
That's not good. I think he had a information or internet connection issue. I almost had one myself earlier. I was actually living in the front room and I saw the light flicker. I was like, oh no, I hope my PlayStation didn't turn off. Thankfully it didn't. So
yeah. Well, that is disastrous for Baldy. We had at the last race at Monza, we had a very difficult lobby where a number of drivers disconnected. It was all of the North American drivers actually. They just disconnected simultaneously, which was very unfortunate because I know you know, a lot of them were in very good positions, with the likes of Trey, the likes of TS BAP. Who else was in that race? Cro-Magna, Thunderpig maybe. I don't know what happened, but all the North American servers just suddenly went kaput. But disaster for Baldy. He was doing very, very well up to that point, and yeah, I think Goofy will be gutted by that, to be honest, because you never want to see the driver that you're racing against go, because it just makes the whole experience less enjoyable for you. You know, you want to keep everything on track.
indeed. So
Why not Sean Pitts? So I wonder if Sean's going to think about going onto the hard tires, whether he's going to think about doing one of his brakes.
The gap between Gecko and Volante has been increased quite significantly. They were seconds apart, but now they are... I mean, they were just like within a second between each other. Now they're just two... Now Gecko's about 3 seconds ahead. So Sean will be taking his break. Defiant also comes into the pits. Will he also be taking his break? I think he will. Oh, quite of a turn of events within the last few laps. So Defiant comes in. He is also taking a break. So we got Sean in the pits and Defiant in the pits. So that leaves Coyote, Guzas, Goofy, Ismail, Volanta, Gecko, and Gianni, all having done their pit stops, done at least 2 pit stops for the whole top 5, I'm pretty sure. I think Coyote and Goose as the only ones have only done 2. Fubar running his own race at the moment after suffering from suspension damage early on in the race. The machine also running his own race. He's about 37 seconds behind DD Rager. But he's also... Okay. Maybe I've got my timesheet wrong. So DD Rager's actually gonna just do his own thing. Ismail trying to get past him as fast as possible. Remember, there are no blue flags in this race. I mean, no blue flag rules in this race. So if there is a lap car, then that's something that you just have to get past on your own. You can't really force them to slow down for you. Ismail is actually on the soft tire. Gianni's on the hard tire, and he's just about just less than a quarter of a tank, while Ismail gets past Volanta. So,
sorry about that, guys. I was on mute, and I didn't realize I was. unfortunately. But yeah,
All good.
disaster for Baldy. He was doing so well, and he's messaged the YouTube comments. You know, his PlayStation went weird and switched off. So
Oh, that's
you know, he had a technical issue today, and as part of racing, you know, any form of motorsport, you gotta trust the machinery you've got, and unfortunately today, it's like he had an engine failure. So Baldy unfortunately out
He
of
was
the
doing
race.
very, very well
Yeah.
after spinning out at the. Oh, sorry.
I
Was that
think he
him?
was
Did he spin out?
on course to challenge Ismail for that 4th position. And
Right.
certainly was in a good battle heating up with Goofy. But the two of them might have to go it alone from now on, unfortunately.
Very unfortunate stuff. So the gap has been ever so slightly extended between Gecko and Volanta. Volanta has a higher fuel load, but only just. Gecko doesn't look like he's fuel saving as much anymore. Oh, he's still doing it a little bit. They're both still on their strategy of fuel saving, saving tires. But
I mean,
they
that
were really
is
close at one point.
3.6 second gap. I think that, you know, that can easily be made up. So I don't think the alarm bells will be kicking off just yet. And you know, Ray Belanzi, he's just driving his own race. He's got Venom Snake for company now. So Venom, who's yet to make his 5-minute break or 10-minute break. I think Didi is now making his 5-minute break. So it looks like we're just waiting on Sean to. So I think Sean he's going to be finishing up in the next 10 seconds. He's going to be yeah, there we go.
Yep.
So now Sean, what tires is he going to go on to? And maybe he sniffs an opportunity here since Baldy.
Defiant is also doing a break. I don't know if it's a 5 or a 10 minute. We're about to find out. I'm guessing it's a 10 minute.
Yeah.
So fuel load, soft tires for Sean.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. So now he's going to be going all out on those softs. So I'm going to make a note of that. The gap between Johnny and Gecko is, yeah, so 16.7 seconds. So again, it's just creeping up, and I'm sure. But Johnny's gonna have to pit very, very soon. So you see,
Very soon.
So you see now.
Of fuel.
So he pit on lap 19, and now that he's going for it, you can see that he is using fuel at a much higher rate than he was before. So it's drastically cutting his fuel life.
The consistency is something that must be noted. 219s on the hard tire, but the Corvette is a very fast car. But he was doing
218. He was doing 218s as well while you were away. So, I mean, Johnny, in terms of pace, he's in a league of his own right now. It's just gonna depend on how the strategies come together. And bear in mind that he's got the same number of soft tires as the other runners. So
has he used any?
No, he's not used any yet. So I think it's going to come down to how the drivers start to use their soft tires. I think we're going to see Gecko and Ray Belanta start to use their soft tires come the second half of the race when they eventually come in for their pit stops. But yeah, only 3.6 seconds the gap.
So it seems that
I've just noticed here that Goofy's made another pit stop and he's gone on to a set of mediums. So that would be his second pit stop.
Right. Yeah, okay, so Define will be taking a 10-minute break. He's almost done with his. Just give it about another 2 minutes, roughly. Uh, DD Rager, he will be taking a 5 or 10-minute break. We'll see in the next minute. But with that being said, that gives Sean and Fubar, more specifically Fubar, some company, or at least Sean to make up some ground and try and catch, because he's now 17 seconds ahead of Sean.
Yes, but no, don't forget that Sean has made his 5-minute stop, whereas Fubar, I don't believe he has yet. As Yanni makes his way into the pits.
You think he's taking a break this time around?
I think he will, but we'll have to wait. We'll wait and see. You know, maybe he doesn't. Now let's have a look here. So Goofy's on the medium tires, and he's got Why Not Sean actually quite close for company behind him, and Sean is on the soft tires.
Taking a break.
Yeah. So just as we're about to go into the halfway stages, let's have a short recap of the race so far. We had Jani starting on pole position, and it was just an incredible lap, wasn't it?
It was very, very quick.
It was 1.6 seconds clear of second place, but we have a feeling that it might have been down to you know, some NOS under the hood. Because the gap hasn't been as stark in the race, but Jani has been leading. Baldy was in a very strong 5th position, possibly looking to challenge the likes of Ismail for and Goofy for 4th position, but unfortunately had a disconnect. Jani is now taking his first 5-minute break. Hello, Johnny. So that has allowed Gecko to go up into the lead. So yeah, I think Johnny, he must be feeling pretty happy at this point of the race. You know, I think he was 20. He got the gap to around about 20 seconds over Gecko. So he only needs, well, I say only, he needs another sort of 20 seconds in the next hour and a half. To overhaul Gecko, given he's going to lose that amount of time when he takes his extra pit stop.
Right. Defiance should be coming out of the pits any time now, or at least starting to put fuel in and change tires. Johnny taking a break. I'm sure he's very, very happy about the last few stints. He's put out a big enough gap, a 16-second gap before he came in, mind you, between Gecko and Balanta.
Yeah.
Very, very fast drivers indeed. Ismail, he's still on the soft tire, and they're not looking too good, but he's doing 220, so he's doing not too bad for the state of the tire he's in.
No, Ismail, he's 10 seconds behind Ray Balanta, but the thing is, Ray Balanta and Gecko Racer, they're on those hard tires, so you'd expect that Ismail would maybe be catching quicker than he has been, but just hasn't quite got quite hooked it up. But it looks like he's going for the 3-stop as well, because he's been saving quite a lot, and you can see he'll probably make it to the end of lap 40. Given he's got around about 15% left in the tank.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. We'll have to see where he comes up. Guzas was very low on fuel, so he's timed that very well, coming with 2% left at the end of lap 37. I wonder if he takes a break. Yeah, he's going to take a 5-minute break now. So driver's getting to around about the halfway mark and then thinking before they're going to be taking their breaks. Just looking here, the gap between Gecko and Ray Balanta has gone up, actually. to just over 5 seconds. So Gecko must be feeling very good about himself. But Ray Belanta's still got that fuel advantage. So that could pay dividends later in the race. You know, I'm not entirely sure how quickly the softs are going to degrade around here, but maybe he's thinking, I want to go as far as possible and then go onto the softs, you know, towards the end and get the maximum performance out of them.
Maybe this is all part of the strategy, but Gecko has just slightly cut off fuel saving, just a little bit. He shifts a little bit later.
Oh, Defiant goes for a dive bomb on Venom Snake. That's the second time that Defiant's done that. Let's take a replay of that. So that was a kamikaze move from Defiant on the soft tire, and he's just, I mean, he made the apex actually. But yeah, not quite the way, not quite the standard of driving we aspire to in Arc, but he's made it past. And yeah, he's in 13th position now. I remember him being quite close to Why Not Sean. I think so. Defiant must be the.
Took a break.
Well, they're both taking a break, so I think Defiant must have taken a 10-minute break because he's now. Yeah, he's now 11 minutes and 48 behind the leader, compared to Sean being 5:56 behind. And Johnny goes onto the soft tires at the end of his pit stop, so he's now coming back out into 9th position.
So what do you think the strategy is for now on these tires for Gianni? As you see him trying to warm up put some temperature into the soft tires.
Well, I think he might be listening to the stream, so he might be taking strategy tips. But if I were in Johnny's position, I'd go for it, and I would basically try to get as far, go as fast as I can on these soft tires.
Right.
Burn the fuel, go quickly. I'm not sure they're gonna last for that long at the pace you want. So maybe you do have to take care of them a little bit, but in terms of revving the car, I'd go for it, because I know, because he needs the pace. He needs to really get the hammer down.
I think he'll be all right. I mean, I'm still looking at one of his personal bests so far, or the fastest lap throughout the race, is a 2:17.96. That was really early on, and that was also on a higher fuel load and the medium tire. So just imagine what he could do on the soft tire.
Oh, we saw what he could do. Let's see what he can. I want to see what he can actually do on the soft tire, because I think he was running a tune for qualifying. So I think for the softs we might be looking at. I reckon Johnny, he can probably do a 16 easily on these softs. He's got that kind of pace in him. As to the likes of Gecko and Ray Belanta, of course. But yeah, I mean Johnny, he's already caught like 2 seconds on his outlap on the leaders. So, but don't forget, he is on the soft tires and the leaders are on the hards.
Wiley's also coming to take his break. He is on fairly worn mediums, also on low fuel, so he's going to be taking a break. Guzas is coming up on the 5-minute mark at the moment, but he might be taking a 10-minute. We will see.
So what I would expect, so I think Guzas mentioned in chat that he was taking a 5-minute break, and so yeah, so if he's taking a 5-minute break, you're probably going to be looking at the car being serviced. So he's probably going to be taking tires in the next 10 seconds, I would say. So let's just wait for the mechanics to get their go signal. Or is he taking a 10? Maybe he's taking a 10-minute break.
Someone else has just come in. I think that is, or the machine has just come in with soft tires, so he's going to be taking his break as well. With rear aero damage, it seems, so that must have been.
Yeah, really must have been hampering his performance a bit. Hello, Wiley. So Wiley in that lovely looking Lamborghini. Wiley now taking his break. He said hello all in chat. Hello, Wiley. Wiley.
He was just putting on tires and fuel.
He says he's underfueled as hard. It's very wily Coyote move there to underfuel. It's very easy to do in the Lamborghini as well because that car drinks like a fish. So, but yeah, beautiful looking car. But we have Gecko. Gecko's now got 6.5 seconds over Ray Balanta, and he stayed out.
Gustas has just put on the soft tire, and Defiant just put a move on Balanta, but I think that's why the gap is as big as it is because of there is no real rules to the blue flags. They are there, but the drivers really don't have to follow them.
So Ismail Truth pits from 3rd position. He 1% left, so he's clearly got that 3-stop worked out. And Ray Balanta, I wonder if he's going to try and go even further. He's going to really give himself that soft side, that ability to just hammer the softs towards the end. He's now got the slip of Defiant. The Defiant's on the softs actually, so this could be quite good for Ray Balanta if he's able to just cling onto the back of Defiant.
Yellow flag.
Who might that be?
Oh, that is Guzas.
Oh, Guzas.
Going slowly out of I keep forgetting the track.
Oh, we've missed it. Oh, it was he was on the inside of No Name. And I wonder what happened. Did he spin? Did he understeer coming up? Unfortunately, I wasn't quick enough to get the to get the full replay of that. But Gecko's gone past now.
Interesting.
So that would have hampered Gecko a little bit. The gap came down to Ray Balanta. It's now 6.3 seconds. So yeah, Gecko's definitely pitting this lap. I wonder if Ray Balanta, if he's gonna try to make it one more lap, like he did in that first stint.
Well, that's what he did in the first step.
Yeah.
Right.
It's gonna be tight though.
So Gecko's gonna be in this lap. Ooh, slight contact between Gusas and Gecko.
Yeah, Gusas is on the soft tire. He doesn't care that Gecko's the leader. He just wants to get past as quickly as possible. So Gecko into the pits. He's maybe going to be taking his break now. But Ray Balanta, he stays out as we suspected. So he's going to do that one extra lap on the stint, and that's going to allow him to have a slightly to be able to just go for the soft stint a little bit more. Like you wouldn't think that having an extra lap helps too much, but around a track like Spa, it can make a massive difference.
I'm looking at the fuel loads. Balanta actually had another lap's worth of fuel on board, so maybe he was fuel saving just that much more, and it paid off in the long run. So that's probably the reason why he is pitting one lap later, because he saved that much more fuel and that much more tire.
Johnny's just come across the line and he's done a 16.7.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So my man Johnny, he's doing extremely well.
So Gecko's not taking a break. He's going straight to the soft tire.
That's a risk, you know. I think that's a risk because it means that you're leaving your brake for the very last pit stop, and what if you accidentally misclick and then you end up sort of you don't take the brake in the end, because I know that then you have to come back into the pits and it's just a nightmare. But yeah, Gecko opting to just go for it. He thinks he's in the rhythm. He's gonna keep going, and let's see what he's able to do in that soft tire. He's sort of out of sync with Johnny. So Johnny's now coming up to Puon, whereas Gecko, he's sort of yeah, he's not too far behind actually. He's himself now about to come up to Puon.
Gecko just took a second out of Balanta, that's the soft tire, but Balanta still has to pit this lap because he doesn't have enough fuel to go on again. So I'm thinking that maybe Gecko is going to try and undercut him Maybe if Belante doesn't take a break. Oh, did he run out of fuel? Oh no 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 no. I was a little bit scared.
He's close to running out of fuel. He's playing a dangerous game. Is Ray Belante comes into the pits with 1%, though actually quite healthy, you know, all things considered. So that's going to help him later on in the race. Just having done that one lap extra, he's going to have, you know, one lap fresher softs. It's just going to give him a pace advantage throughout the whole stint.
Right.
But we'll see if he follows suit with Gecko and doesn't take a break, or if he takes the break. Yeah. Meanwhile,
So
I'm looking at.
taking a break.
Meanwhile, I'm looking at so Ismail Truth has gone on to a second set of soft tires.
Oh, did he mess up?
No. You're allowed to go onto. You're allowed 2 sets of softs. Yeah. So he's gone on to.
Trying to get them out of the way.
So he's gone on to a second set of soft tires. And then Goofy, he's on, I believe, another set of mediums. And then I think after this stint, he's going to have 2 soft stints for the rest of the race. Johnny's set 16.3.
Goodness, maybe that was his true pace, even with the tune. Like that was still a blistering lap. I mean, he could easily get into like the high 15s. That was such a lap. Oh my goodness! If this is a 2:16.3, oh man.
Yep, Johnny's definitely got some pace today. But again, he's still going to make up that time for that pit stop, and we need to know what is Gecko's pace like. So Gecko, he's now on a lap. Let's ride on board with him. And it looks to me like Ray Balance is taking his break.
Okay.
Yeah. Whether it's 5 or 10 minutes, we'll have to wait and see. We're sort of at that stage of the race where everyone's a little bit shuffled up.
Right. Everyone taking their pit stops at different places. Not everyone taking it at the same time. So obviously, it's not going to be representative of the actual gap between all the drivers. So anything can happen. Some drivers still need to take their breaks. Some need to take another break for that matter. Some haven't even taken their breaks at all. So it all comes down to the later half of the stage. Yep.
It's all going to come down to who's in front at the end of lap 80. So Gecko, it's been a tidy lap so far. He's just coming through Blanchimont. Look at that. So he's lifting and coasting into the braking zones. So that could be a smart strategy actually, because what that can allow for greater tire life as well. So, you know, we know you've only got 2 sets of soft, and look at that though. He's done a 218 flat compared to Gianni doing a 216.3. So we know Gianni's got a massive pace advantage, just by virtue of revving the hell out of that Corvette.
It seems that the gap between Ismail and Gecko is only slightly increasing. I thought it was decreasing for a little bit, but it's only gotten larger, it seems. But the gap between Goofy and Ismail has gone down quite a bit.
Just looking at the lap, so Ismail's last lap was a 218.3, and compared to Goofy on the mediums, who did a 219.3. So actually the gap coming up slightly. But don't forget that this is Ismail's second set of soft tires, whereas Goofy has yet to touch them. And so he's going to have that advantage going into the last stages of the race. So Goofy may be on for a 4th position, but you have to feel for Baldy, because he would have been up there, surely.
Of course. I'm really curious as to Ismail's strategy, because he had pitted earlier on lap 39, and then he pitted again for a second set on lap... Sorry. Yes, he pitted on lap 39, then he pitted again on... Ooh. Maybe I got my timing sheet wrong. So he's on his second set of soft tires. That is correct. He most recently pitted on lap 39.
No. It looks to me, yeah. So he pitted on lap 40. Did Ismail Truth? So he's going for the 3-stop pinning, you know, on all of the, you know, the 20, the 40, and the 60. Goofy, on the other hand, I think he's gonna try and take that extra pit stop. Yeah, it looks like Goofy's going for a little bit more, so maybe I think, yeah, it looks like he's kind of pulling in Ismail. But he's gonna need to be a lot faster in the latter stages of the race, which we know is possible because look at what Gianni's doing. I mean,
Right.
again, look, his 4 laps. No, sorry, his 5 laps since coming out of the pits: a 2:16.9, a 2:16.7, a 2:16.3, 2:16.7, and a 2:16.5. So all of those lap times. I mean, he's just blitzing everybody right now. No one's coming even close. I mean, Gecko's now gone into the 2:17s, and that was his fastest lap of the race. But he's having to fuel save a lot more than Gianni.
Johnny just only like 600 slower than his personal best in the first sector, so he is still on a push on these soft tires. This Corvette is a very, very fast car, high displacement V8, very, very quick in a straight line, and he's been managing the front tires, it seems, very well throughout the whole race on all compounds. Gecko has pulled another 2 seconds out of Ismail compared to the last check.
You mean Gecko? Yeah.
Yeah.
Goofy was quicker
than as well.
Yeah, Goofy was quicker than Ismail on the last lap. So I think we're seeing the difference between the drivers who are having to save a lot and the drivers who are just going for it. And I think you have to be very, very careful if you're saving. But yeah, I think Goofy he's definitely got time, to be honest. If he can just keep it consistent, he's got the time to catch Ismail. I think it might be tight though, with 35 laps to go. Yeah.
Alonso seems to be taking a 10-minute break. I expect Gecko to do the same. He's been doing the same throughout this series. He did one at Interlagos, and I think he did one at Fuji as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did it this race as well. It seems that taking a 10-minute break seems to be the way to go if you want to be up there, rather than taking 2 5 minutes.
I don't know. It depends. I think for me the main. I mean, there's not much of a difference between the two of them, of course, but I mean that's why we have the equivalence between them. But yeah, I think a couple of races I'd like to take the 5 minutes, just to give myself some clear air from stuck behind someone. You know, take the 5 minutes and then you get some clear air to your own thing. And also it means that you can, if you make a mistake, you got the 5 minutes, and then you got that other additional, like, sort of, if I make another mistake, I can just take another 5 minutes and clear my head again. So I kind of prefer the 5-minute breaks, but with the 10-minute break you can actually go outside maybe and go for a walk and then come back and hop back in the car. So it's really up to you what you prefer.
Gecko's last lap at 2:17.8. Goofy's best lap was a 2:18.6. That was lap 38. And it seems that just before Valenta came in, he was on a higher tire, remember? So his last lap before he came in was a 2:21.
Yeah, Ray Valenta, he's probably got around about a minute left before he's able to change his tires. So he's going to be a few laps down. The leaders are currently on lap 46. So Ray Valenta, he's going to be coming out, you know, roughly. He should be coming out maybe along, you know, where Gecko is on the. I actually don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But he's got another minute. No, around about 30 seconds now. Yeah, he might be reunited with Gecko, you know, just on different laps. I'm not sure he would want that though.
I think the soft tire for Gianna is ever so slightly starting to fall off. His last lap was a 2:17.3, and the lap before was a 2:18.7. So maybe I think he's about to start managing that just a little bit.
Yep. Well spotted there. So that was his 8th lap on the stint, and then you can just see the first signs of wear, and he's crept up into the 2:17. So now we're seeing that Gecko, you know, I mean his softs look pristine still pretty much. So he's taking very, very good care of them, because he knows they're going to have to carry him until around about, well, they're going to have to carry him until lap 60. So.
And a new personal best as well for the session at 2:17.8 while fuel saving. So he's doing a very good job at saving the tires and the fuel.
Yeah, and he's less than a tenth slower than his best, so the consistency is very, very strong from Gecko here. I don't know who's gonna win this actually. I think
it could
go either way.
way.
I thought Johnny might have had quite a big advantage, but looking at his tires now, you know, I'm not so sure. Because don't forget, he only has one set of softs after this, and then once he uses that up, he's going to have to maybe go onto the mediums for a splash and dash at the end of the race.
So Volanta has just finished his break. He's now on the soft tire. He took a 10-minute break. So following similar strategy to Gecko, is he going to be doing the same with fuel saving, or is he going to be on a push?
It's gonna be a mixture, you know. It's gonna be like you're gonna push sometimes, you're gonna save sometimes, but you have to keep it balanced, because you know we're almost 2 hours into this race actually. Yeah, I mean it's impressive that we're almost 2 hours in, and the drivers really at the front especially have kept it so consistent. There have been other drivers who've made some impressive moves and just good battling. But the concentration you need for a 3-hour race is unbelievable, especially around a track like Spa, where you know there's so much time to be gained when you're pushing and when you're hitting all your marks properly. So,
right,
yeah, it's a real test of mental concentration.
Gecko's still doing his thing, fuel saving out of the source. Ismail just did a 2:19, so that's almost a second slower than his personal best, which was 2:18.3. That was lap 43. Goofy, has he been gaining or losing time on him?
He was kind of holding station with Ismail Truth, but his last lap, a 2:22.0, not the best, and he actually lost 3 seconds to Ismail Truth on that lap. It's not really what Goofy wanted, but don't forget though that when Goofy's going to be coming into the pits very soon, and then he's going to have those stints on the soft where he can just push, and we know, yeah, right. And we can see what's Johnny doing now. So Johnny's last up was a 17.4 compared to Gecko, who's done an 18 flat, so still around about 6 or 7 tenths quicker, but not pulling, you know, not overwhelmingly quicker like we saw early on in the stint where he was doing, I mean, low 16s.
So Volanta has just finished his outlap, so he's now on his first lap, first time lap on the tires.
Oh, Machine gets it very wide, but Johnny's gonna find a way past. And Machine just slots in behind.
Take a look at that on replay. Ooh, quite wide indeed.
So who's close on track? Is there anyone close on track to each other? I think it looks to me like everyone's spread out even more now after
right
after the
closest on track from what I
stage.
can see is Ismail Truth and ARC Goofy. They are the closest people on track with a gap of roughly 11 seconds, almost 12.
Well, there you have it. Alright, well, we're gonna take a short break. At least I'm gonna take a short break. Maybe all of us can stay.
Yeah, I'll stay.
I'm just gonna, powder my nose, and I'll be back in. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. So yeah.
How's everyone doing today? I hope you guys are enjoying the race.
I'm just going to be taking a look at the lap times. Goofy getting a little bit shaky into Rouge and Radion. Let's see though. So Fubar's still taking his break. Balanta, he just did it too. Oh wait, did he pit again? No. Just did a 218. Okay. So Gecko's last lap was a 218.4. Balanta's last lap was a 218.7. So they are most definitely on similar strategy. Gianni, 217.8. So he's still on a push trying to catch up to Gecko. As we're gonna ride on board with Gecko doing into
Lasource
hits the apex pretty nicely. Goes wide, but not too wide. Out of Lasource into Eau Rouge, then Radion. Very nicely indeed. Ooh, gets a little bit loose, but doesn't lose too much time or traction. Back onto Camel, still doing a little bit of fuel saving. Normally you would be doing about 162, 163 in cars like the Corvette. Now he's into Lacombe, then after that he goes straight into Malmedy. Still taking the conventional racing line, but just doing a little bit of fuel saving at the same time. A little bit of Lyco, if you will. And now he's going into, after Rivage, into No Name. Ala Pujon still taking a fairly simple line. Coming out of Lafania and into Stavelo. Out of Stavelo, keeps it relatively tight on the apex, on the racing line. Goes, and he's just doing his own thing. He knows he's got a long race ahead of him. He's got 30 more laps to go, and his main rival, so it seems, has been Volanta. Volanta's last lap was a 218.5. Gecko's last lap was a 218.1. So he's, at the moment, got the measure of him on lap time pace. Gianni, on the other hand, still doing 217s consistently. His last lap 44, 45, 46, 47, 48 have been 217s. 217.3, 217.4, 217.8, 217.8, and 217.7. He's very, very consistent, very, very fast with this car on these tires.
Hello, I'm back.
Yep.
So it looks like nothing. Things haven't changed so much. Just drivers kind of doing what we expected them to in terms of continuing their strategies. It looks like Sean is running quite low on fuel, so I expect him to make a pit stop sometime in the next couple of laps. Excuse me.
I think he has to either do it either this lap or next lap. It's looking quite low on fuel. Just about 10% it seems.
Yeah, so I think Sean and Guzas. So it looks to me like Gecko, Ismail, and Goofy have not taken any break whatsoever so far.
Oh,
and then you
John's
have
being held up by Defiance. And he just lets him go after that.
Yeah, so Defiant letting Johnny go. That's good. So you have Gecko, Ismail, and Goofy. These drivers have not taken a single break so far. Then you have Johnny, Sean, and Guzas. They have each taken a 5-minute break. Actually, yeah, I think D Rager has as well. And then Ray Balanta is the first of the drivers to have made a 10-minute break. His last lap was a 17.3, so he's starting to up the pace a little bit more.
GD Rager, Balanta, and I think anyone from position 7 down have all taken 10-minute breaks. Yes,
no, I think Balanta is the first who's taken a 10, and I think DD's taken a 5.
Okay.
Yeah, because obviously Balanta was in the lead, so
right.
Yeah, or like close to the lead. So yeah, the closest to Ray currently is Defiant.
We're putting on new tires and fueling up. He also had engine damage, it seems. Oh man.
Who? Defiant or?
No, Fubar. I think that's when he hit the wall, maybe pitting in.
Oh, that's a disaster for Fubar. But I think he's now taking his 10 minutes.
Yes, he has. He's on the medium tire. He'll take the gas.
So the fastest man on track right now is, I think, Ray Balanta.
I think so.
Yeah. And he's just done a 17.2.
Ooh.
So he's going for that consistent fast pace, and now Goofy's going to be taking a break.
Yeah, alright, Balanta is no longer fuel saving. Gecko still doing 217s, 218s, around there. But he's still fuel saving. But he's very consistent with it. He's very consistent, very quick while doing so. I think Balanta might be on a push now.
Yeah. Ray Balanta's got the bit between his teeth. Look at that, a quarter of a second quicker than his best through the first sector. So he could be on for a 16 on this one as well. So maybe he's got the strategy right, and he's the one of the three who's got the strategy right. Going that little bit longer on the hard tires, and it's allowing him to really push on the softs.
So it seems that the gap between, well, I guess this is because of brakes only, but there is a gap between Sean and Guzas, only 8 seconds, but it is coming down relatively quickly.
Yep, Sean now on the hard tires. So yeah, they're at very different stages of the stint actually. So I'm going to make a note of that. Sean going on to, I think, the hard tires. He used one set of softs, so he's going to do the hards and then probably go on to a set of softs for the end. I'm looking at Guza, so I think this is his, I want to say his first set of soft tires, and then he's going to pit and maybe go on to another, or I don't know if he's used has Guza used the hards yet? I'm not sure.
I don't think he has.
So he'll have to do that at some point.
The state of Guza's tires almost very, very dangerous to just falling off completely, but even so, he's still making up some time on Sean, ever so slightly with each sector. still being relatively consistent. He was in the 218s at the start of it. Now he's slowly fallen into the 220s, fallen back into the 219s. Just, only just.
Look at Johnny here. So he's really gone for it on the stint, and you can see the tires are now starting to look a little bit cheesy. You know, the red bar is taking up a lot, and his lap times have started to suffer. Now into the 218s on that last occasion. He's behind DD Rager. I wonder if he's gonna decide to pit on this lap, or if he's gonna try and get one more lap out of the set. We'll have to wait and see. But I think Johnny, I think is the net race leader. So DD looks to move to the left-hand side of the track. Johnny's goes to the inside, and that's going to be easy for him. So let's see what Johnny does. He's going to stay out.
Ooh, gets it very loose on the exit of chicane. Yeah, 2 seconds slower than his personal best, 2:18.6. So I'm thinking he will have to come in this lap because those tires are looking very.
Well, it's the fuel.
Very
Yeah, it's the fuel. He's not going to make 2 laps on that. So Johnny will be in for his 3rd pit stop, I believe, come the end of this lap. That puts him in a good spot, actually, I think, because it means that he's gonna maybe, yeah, he's gonna just go for it, or he does a short stint now. Yeah.
Has Johnny used 2 sets of the sauce, or is this still his first set?
This is his first set. Yeah, I think this is his first set. Yeah. So I think Goofy's taking his 2nd break, so he's gonna be, or is it his first break? Yeah, I think it's his first break because he didn't make a break earlier in the race. So that's possibly gonna allow. Depending on whether he does a 5 or 10 minutes, it's gonna allow Sean and maybe Guzas to go back past. I've been impressed with Sean, to be honest. He was holding his own quite well early on in the race. And his pace has been solid, he's been consistent, and he's looking like he might be in the running for maybe you know, a top half finish, maybe even 6th, I want to say. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's got Ray Belanta behind him, but otherwise I think, you know, his 5th position's pretty legit right now. So
he's been doing very, very well. I raced with him a few times before, and he's come such a long way from when I first did and when I last did. Even today, he's doing an amazing job, holding a 5th position. Oh, currently 4th. Goofy is taking a break. But
yeah, Goofy's doing a 10-minute, by the way, so he's still in the in his box. So when that timer hits around about 12 minutes,
Gianni
so 4 minutes time,
with no liters of fuel.
Yeah. He must have run out, to be honest. Really run that Corvette dry. So does he go into a 2nd set of mediums or 2nd set of softs? What do you think?
I think he's going to go into a 2nd set of softs. I don't see why not. He's clearly got the pace.
I'm just wondering whether you want to use the softs now and get that advantage, or you want to use the softs at the end to fight. Maybe it depends. It depends how you want to. It depends how you want to do it. Maybe I'd go for the softs now. Let's see. Let's see what he does. I think the gap between himself and the BMW is going to be so tight come the end of the race. To be honest.
Hold on, did he? Whoa, that was a weird glitch. Interesting. Alright, so he has fueled up on, and he's gone to mediums.
He's gone to mediums.
I don't know if you saw it, but I was watching him pit, and then it had said he had already put like 6 to 8 liters of fuel in, and changed the tires as well. So I was like, huh. That was very interesting.
I think what Gianni's doing right now is he just wants to make sure that he can fight at the end of the race. Yeah.
Good strategy. good strategy call.
We'll see what pays off, whether that pays off for him. But we know that the mediums, you know, they can last 15 or 16 laps, and you can push them pretty hard, I would say, in comparison to the softs. I think he was having to baby the softs towards the end of the stint, and you can see the times are sort of dropping off. Whereas those mediums, you know, he knows that he's going to get the performance out of them from the beginning to the end. But yeah, so he's still going to be out of sync with the likes of Gecko and Ray Belanta. The gap between Jani and Ray is 5 minutes and 2 seconds. So that's a gap to take note of, and similarly the gap between Gecko and Jani is 5 minutes and 6 seconds. So these three drivers, they're all at different stages of their breaks, but on you know, they're racing it. They're the ones racing each other for the win here.
Right.
I'm just looking. Ray Belanta, he's still in the 17s, doing strong. His pace is holding out here nicely.
Gecko seems to have fallen into the 218 territory.
Yeah.
His last lap 54 was 219.0, but the lap 4 after that was 218.8. So I'm thinking he might come in within the next few laps, maybe to put on a second set of softs, or maybe even a set of mediums. I'm looking at their tires. You have to remember that Ray Belanta had also pitted a little bit later. Gecko still has yet to do his brakes, either of them, whether he's doing a 5 or a 10 minute. So, effectively, that leaves Gianni. He might win this race. Maybe it's a little bit too early to call, but
I think it's too early to call.
I'm just considering the fact that he has such extreme pace on. It's been like his last stint, he was constantly. He did like his first 5 laps was on 216s and maybe a few 217s, and then a few laps after that he was doing 217s, which is still pretty fast. And then like lap 49, 50, 51, he fell into the 219, 218 territories, and then it's like, okay, it's time to take a break and pit. So yeah, it's very interesting.
It's one of those things. All the drivers are spread out, so really, it's it's a pure pace battle between all of them. It's not like, I don't know if you remember Fuji this year, but the 400 lap race at Fuji was absolutely crazy because, you know, the first couple of stints, all the drivers were just so close together, and you know, just battling away.
Guzman's actually coming in.
Yep, Guzas pits from 5th. Yeah, Guzas has taken, I think, 5 minutes so far. So he's still, you know, he's going to be able to maybe take the rest of his 10 minutes now. So another 5 minutes.
Oh no!
But he's going to go for it. Yeah.
So maybe it's going to be a second set of softs. What do you reckon?
I'm not sure. I actually have no idea. Maybe he's gonna use a set of hards. I've not seen what Guzas has used as of yet.
It will be hards. You're right.
All of the drivers are doing a fantastic job so far because we've cleared the 2-hour mark comfortably now. And we still, to be honest, we're still around about. We've still got like an hour to go, I'd say.
Yeah.
So just wait. We're just waiting in anticipation for all of the drivers to coalesce again and see what the gaps kind of actually are. So Guzas has come out again in 5th. He didn't take the breakaway. I think he ran a little bit wide there, and he's going to have Jani on those medium tyres for companies. Let's ride on board with Jani again. As he tries to catch up with that Lexus ahead of him. That might actually be not great news for Jani because Guzas is on the hard tyres, and this section of the track is not the easiest to pass on. So
right. I'm thinking he's gonna just hope that Johnny gets out of his way, or doesn't hinder him too much. Because if you got such a huge pace advantage, and you know you really don't want to waste any time with anybody.
No, you don't. But the problem is that if you go for a move and that goes wrong, then you know that could ruin your race, especially with the heavy damage. So you still have to show that little bit of patience. And Goozas just lets him go.
He just gets out of the way.
I wouldn't. Oh, Goozas. If I was Goozas, I would have been a bit more of a nuisance in that position, I think. You know, you got straight here, for God's sake. Johnny can get past on his own. But no, this very, you know, it's very gentlemanly from Goozas. He knows he's not really racing against Johnny. In fact, that might actually be. Yeah, it looks like Johnny's actually put a full lap on Goozas now. So they've both taken 5 minutes. That's a legit he lap. Like, you know, Johnny's a lap ahead of Goozas now.
Okay.
But yeah, he's still got the next car up the road. It's gonna be, well, it's not gonna be Sean, but Sean. You know, what do you think? You're like, you've got one of the potential race leaders who's a minute and 26 ahead. The next closest guy is almost a minute behind. You're kind of just chilling, I guess.
Yeah, just doing your own thing. I think at this point,
yellow flag. Oh, someone spun.
That is Wiley.
Where's Wiley? Oh, 11th. Okay. So let's have a look at what happened to Wiley. So just going into the Fanyas. Oh, and the rear just stepped away from him on those one softs, and around she went. And that's not what Wiley wanted at all. Oh, and he spins again for good measure. So disaster for Wiley. I think at least that allowed. I don't remember who we were on board with before. I think it might have been Sean. Yeah, in that red Peugeot. So disaster for Wiley there. How is he doing? So he's gonna pit. Yeah, his softs are killed. So yeah, he was already half a minute behind Venom actually. The spin can't have helped. Yeah, so Wiley not having a good time out there, and he's gonna probably find it quite tough to catch the likes of Venom. He might be in a race with. He's quite far ahead of Machine, to be fair.
Right. I'm having some issues with my keyboard. I can't replay anything.
Try pressing Z, and then press another button.
Interesting. Well, I'll just have to rely on YouTube then.
Yeah, you can. I'll try and get the replays when they come up. So you can watch the YouTube video. You can watch the YouTube for the replay, and yeah, I mean, I'll take care of that side of it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Goofy here. So Goofy's in an 8th position. He's a minute and 14 behind Ray Belanta. A minute ahead of Defiant. So I wonder, is he gonna be close to Sean maybe? Or I think maybe he's gonna be ahead of Sean actually.
Goofy?
Yeah, Goofy.
Hard to say.
Yeah, hard to say. Ismail Truth is got not much fuel left in the tank, and neither is Gecko, so we're going to have another phase of pit stops coming very shortly for you. And we're going to see, I think, Gecko and Ismail, they're going to be going... So if they go to the end of lap 60, they're then going to be... they have to do a 10-minute stop, surely. You know, otherwise, you know, when are they going to do it?
Right. Because I was taking a look at Gecko's fuel load. I said he's got maybe about 2 more laps. then you notice that it's lap 59, so he has pretty much been following strategies, I guess, since the beginning of the race. No real pickups.
Yeah, Gecko's
So
been,
he's not-
you know, he's just been so consistent. You can see you can see the lap times drop, but they drop in like in stages, and he's just kept it going, kept it pointing in the right direction. But yeah, it's interesting to note that now Ray Balanta's now dipping into the 19s. So his early pace on that soft tire started to fall away. Maybe a couple mistakes, because he looks like he's still got some tire life left in.
I think he's got about 2 or 3 more laps worth of just I guess
No.
pace before they.
Oh yeah, of pace, yes.
Yeah. Like if he keeps up this consistency, I think he'll be fine for another 2 or 3 more laps. Like at the current pace he's having, I think he'll be all right. So Gecko has just gone under the 10-liter mark. His fuel is now flashing red. His tires are in a pretty. They're pretty worn. They're
pretty
terrible,
worn.
but
Yeah, he can still get something out of that. He can make it to the pit lane for sure. On that set, we know Gecko. He's able to nurse the car quite well. Johnny's on the medium tire. He started off doing 218s, and then he realized that wasn't quick enough, and on his last lap did a 217.8. That's on medium tires. So Johnny again with his foot to the floor, and he's just over 5 minutes behind Gecko. So both drivers have to make. So they're going to be quite even, I think, coming into the final stage of the race. I know Johnny, they both have 1 pit stop left to make, actually. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see who comes out ahead on that occasion.
you got to remember that Gianni, Gecko, and Ray Balanta, they were all very close together. I mean, although during Gianni's second stint, he did put on the hard tire and he did just like put the foot to the floor. Even then,
yeah, his hard stint was excellent, very fast.
Right. Like the gap between Gianni and Gecko is just over 5 minutes, so it's not very big indeed. So by the time they both make their rounds, I'm assuming it will be the top 3 still trying to fight for position after the final wave of pit stops.
As we suspected right at the start of this race, we could have just made it a 10-lap sprint and maybe get a similar kind of race. But all the strategies coming into play now. Ismail is making, I think this will be his final pit stop, and he'll go on to a set of hards to finish his race. He'll have to do a 10-minute break as well, so we'll see if he does that. Well, hopefully he does that, otherwise he'll be disqualified.
Gianni got a little bit loose out of No Name, but he held it relatively nicely.
Is Wiley going to play ball here, or is he going to be? Is he going to hold Johnny up? Ooh.
I think he's holding him up just a little bit.
Yep, Wiley's
Yeah.
he's not backing down for anybody, and Wiley's on fresh medium tires, same as Johnny. Johnny's going to look to make a move into Puon, and that's going to be done. Okay, so that didn't work out too badly for Johnny, although I think he did lose a bit of time behind Wiley.
So Gecko actually went 1 lap extra. He's on lap 61, and I think he's going to come in this lap.
Yeah,
He's got to come in this lap.
That's a good job from Gecko. And it gives him, it could, play into his hands later on in this race. Ismail says in chat he's doing a 10-minute stop on lap 60, as we suspected. And Gecko, I presume he's going to do the same thing, but say lap 61. So now it's just a case of looking to see what Ray Belanta does, and he's gone back into the 18s, although he's now being held up heavily by Defiant.
Ooh.
And once again, Defiant does not have to give way here, and in fact, I don't think he is going to. Look, there's a drag race between the Jaguar and the
I think
BMW.
he's gonna try and fight it.
If I'm Ray Belanta, you gotta tuck in. You tuck in here, and you gotta go for the move a little bit later. There we go. Look, he's got the momentum.
Now.
Oh, he just gives Defiant a little bit of a bump. Side by side, going into the bus stop, and he's got the move done.
And he's passed.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think he's gonna give up. I think he's gonna try and let's see. What tires are Defiant on? He's on not too bad mediums.
Oh, and is he gonna go for it? No.
Oh,
and he hits the wall.
He hit the wall of the corner.
Let's take a look at that replay. So he's on board with Defiant here. He thinks about going back for a move on Ray Belanta, but tucks inside. Then actually goes for it. Belanta leaves the space, but Defiant just clipping that inside wall, and that loses all his momentum. But Ray Belanta's got 1 second penalty.
Oh goodness! Did he go too wide at the after Radion?
He must have done. I'm not sure I'm gonna get that one. I mean, yeah, if he picked up a penalty there, he definitely did something at Radion. But that's definitely not good for his hopes of winning this race. And he's going side by side with Defiant again. And he's got the position now. But yeah,
he's not going to give this up.
He lost quite a bit of time behind Defiant there. You know, his last lap was a 19.4. He was previously he went back into the 18s. And if we compare that to Gecko, Gecko was doing sort of low 19s. So actually, Ray Belanta found some pace that may have, you know, it may be able to bring him back into the fight with Gecko. But his last few laps in the stint need to be good.
Man, I didn't consider this until just now. If the back markers are not conceding as easily as normally you would with a blue flag, then this could also change the gaps between the first top 3 or even the top 4.
Yep, absolutely. And it means you have to be quite clever about how you make your way through the traffic, because you know they're not just going to let you through. They are a car. It is a little bit of uncertainty that you have to factor in, and you have to make the necessary adjustments. Like it's almost like you know, if you're in a multi-class race, the slower class doesn't have to move over and let you go. You have to be creative about finding your way past if you're the faster driver in the faster car. Ruben Cops in chat says fellas, and to you I say fellas. So Ruben a bit before my time in ARC, but I believe he was a race winner from season 1. So all that time ago, and now, I mean, now look where ARC is. We've got over, I think, 400 members on Discord and 400 subscribers on YouTube, and you know we're going into a second game of Gran Turismo 7, hopefully with good lobby features coming out. In I don't know if it's good at the moment. I haven't got the game yet. Have you, Olos?
What, GT7?
GT7, yes.
It is a very, very good game. From what I've only played a little bit of it, but it's very, very fun. Getting cars though, as far as like Group 3 and Group 4 is concerned, it will take just a little bit, not too long, thankfully, but it will take some work to do.
Yeah, I think that might be a good thing. You know, it's like it means that if you want to be racing in these online lobbies, you have to make your way up through the ranks,
right,
to get these high power performance race cars. To, you know, let loose on tracks like this. Yeah. How does it compare to GT Sport?
I think it's a pretty good game. Of course, it is just well, I'm not going to say it's a redo of GT Sport. It's more of like it's GT Sport with more features, more detail, more pretty much anything positive. There aren't many bad sides to it, I don't think. GT racing, I feel like the cars feel very much different from each other. They don't feel the same at all. You know how some will feel a little bit similar in GT Sport? I feel like each car has its own unique handling model, and it's very, very good. It means you have to actually learn how to drive a little bit. Tuning-wise, I haven't actually tuned much of Group 3 cars. The only cars I've driven in Group 3, or Group 4 for that matter, was the RX Vision GT3 Concept. And that is it's a very, very nimble car.
Oh, Guza's running a little bit wide out of, on the second part of the com, but it's all good. And he's able to continue. He was actually doing quite well. The only cars you were able to drive so far?
I've driven the RX Vision GT3
Oh, the RX
Concept.
Vision, yes. Okay, so how does it compare to the handling on GT Sport? Did you say more depth?
It's more unique. In this game, it's more like it feels like it's like a point and turn type of car in my experience. It feels like the 911 and like the RX Vision in GT Sport feels more similarly handles to the 911 RSR, but in GT7 for that matter, it feels very, very different. The handling is different. It feels more nose heavy like it looks. It's a very, very good car, and I think it's a very good starter car.
I'll have to maybe test it out as a starter car when I do eventually get GT7. Just looking here at the rear wing of Venom Snake, so he's got Fubar in the BMW close for company. Fubar, they're actually doing similar pace actually, Venom and Fubar. I think Fubar on the medium tire, maybe he'll be able to find a little bit more pace as well. But they've got the race leader Jani.
Right behind
race
him.
leader Jani. Oh yes, of course. So Jani's done a 5-minute stop. So
okay.
he's taken the lead back from Gecko and Ismail Truth. But he's still got to do another 5 minutes. So we'll see where he slots in with Gecko and Ray Balanta, and we'll get sort of a clear indication of where the drivers are with each other. But this isn't really what Johnny wants, because he's now the one getting traffic. So we saw Balanta struggling to get past Defiant a few laps ago, but now you have Johnny and he's got Fubar and Venom in his sights. And what would you be thinking if leading the race?
My goal is to try. If I was in Johnny's shoes, I would try to clear these guys as fast as possible. It's like you don't want to hold them. You don't want to be held up too much. Oh, Fubar
lets him go. Yeah. Again, Fubar did not have to do that, but clearly he did not want to be the guy influencing the race result. So he opted to save face there. Fair enough. Oh, Johnny's gonna. He really used the track limit there.
Yeah. Let's see what Viper's gonna do. Seems like he's. Ooh. Well, they haven't really got up too close yet. But if I was Gianni, I would just do my best to clear them as fast as possible. If I'm in the lead, if I know I have a chance of winning the race, then it's probably in my best interest to clear them as fast as possible.
I'm just looking at Gecko.
It doesn't look like he's going to do the same.
Gecko here's probably got another minute left to run. Ray Balanta, so he's now going to be ready. I mean, look at that. He's going to be coming into the pits at the end of this lap. So
yes, he is.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a race between the two pit crews actually, because we're seeing here that they've got the same fuel. They're going to be on the same lap, and who we know it's a question of which pit crew starts first. So Balanza's now in, and I think Gecko, he must be starting now, surely, or really soon.
Within the next few seconds.
Yeah, maybe in the next few seconds. Let's see. Balanza's not hit his pit crew yet. And then
So
Gecko
here
starts,
goes Gecko.
and Ray's not even in his box yet. So Gecko's definitely got a few seconds on Ray Balanza. Now he hits his pit
So
box.
here comes Balanza. He
That's-
puts on a new set of tires.
That's 10 seconds. I think that's a 10-second gap between Gecko and Ray Balanza. Gecko's going to be coming out really shortly. There we go.
Right, Gecko comes out right now. Let's see.
What's the gap to Johnny?
The gap to Johnny is from
5 minute
fun.
5 minute 47. Sorry.
Guza has hit the wall and he has engine damage.
Oh no. Oh dear. Oh wait. Let's try that again.
That was.
Oh, it was out of Malmedy. Oh, that's a disaster for Guzas. He was running so well.
Goodness.
And it just shows you we're over 2.5 hours into this race, and that might have just ended all hopes he had of a top 7 finish. He's gonna have to pit. He's gonna have to pit for the damage. But to be honest, it's lucky because he's on the hard. He's on the hard tire.
Right.
He's on the hard tire, so he was gonna have to pit pretty soon anyway. But it's meant that he's had to. I think he's just gonna have to bring that pit stop bit forward now.
Right. Adding an unscheduled pit stop it can mess with your brain and it can throw you off of the race.
Who does that benefit? I think that falls into the hands of maybe Defiant is going to be ahead of Guzas now. Do you think Venom's going to be in the picture? Oh, I think maybe.
He can have a touch.
I think Venom could be in the picture because Guzas still has to take a 5-minute stop.
I think Venom has a slight shout, maybe. Just a little bit. The gap between Gecko and Balanza is now 10 seconds on the dot. Guzas comes in to make repairs. Johnny's doing his own thing.
So it just shows, I think, that Gecko's been so consistent in this race. You see he was never really hitting purple laps, but all his laps were just, he was managing the tires, managing the fuel, and it's paid off because he's now got a 10-second advantage over Ray Balanza, and that is with not that long to go. We're into the final quarter of the race. Almost 17 laps to go.
I think Gecko might be trying to push just a little bit, just to close up the gap. Sorry, not Gecko. Balanza. He might be trying to close the gap to Gecko, and it seems that
thing is,
they're both still on a similar strategy as far as power and tires go. Not one really revving the engine all the way out, no one really going as crazy on the corner entry, corner exit.
Yeah, they picked the same car, they ran the same strategy pretty much, but now Gecko's got that advantage over Ray Balanza. Now, the question through all of this is, where is Johnny gonna end up when he pits? So Johnny's now running in the 218s, and he's done a 218.7 now. So that's really good pace on those medium tires from Johnny.
I think he also has one more set of soft tires. Maybe he's going to use the soft tires at the end.
He's got that set of soft tires in hand. If he needs it, I'm just looking here that Goofy is ahead of Ismail Truth by 23 seconds.
Ooh.
But I think that's because so Ismail Truth is on the hard tires, Goofy on the softs, but That's one to watch out for. I think Ismail should have Goofy, but you never know. Goofy might be, you know, on a mission come the end of the race. Again, one to watch out for.
Right.
Yeah. Just looking. He's still in the pits, and he's still got that engine damage. So we're gonna have to wait to see where he slots into play. We haven't talked about Venom Snake, but he's just sort of slowly crept his way up, and now he's in that 9th spot. He's doing a really solid job. He's he's 10 seconds ahead of Wile E. Coyote. And
I think that was after his spin.
Yeah, it's after Wile's spin. But they're both going to have to come back in for another pit stop, I think, for a slash and dash. So the machine makes a pit stop. And so this, yeah, machine, he must be feeling pretty good. You know, this is his debut event into Arc, and so you know, it's always good to be able to race against new drivers and get a feel for what the competition is like. I think he'll be pretty impressed with what the guys around him and the leaders have been able to do.
Right.
But yeah, you know, he'll take a lot of from this performance, and I think, like, you know, it's your first race in the Endurance Championship, certainly. Yeah, he's going to be looking forward to the next one. He's going to, you know, hopefully get a top 10 in the next one. Yeah. Just looking here at Sean as well. So Sean's still yet to make his final stop. He's running on fumes, so he's going to be coming in very, very soon. And he's got Ismail Truth bearing down on him.
The gap between Gecko and Valenta is gone up slightly. I think Gecko might be just trying to go a little bit more aggressive, but not too much to hurt his strategy, because the gap is now almost 11 seconds. It was 10 seconds exactly when they both left the pits after the first lap out of the pits together. So someone might be. I think Gecko has a good chance of getting a podium or second place.
We'll have to see when Johnny comes out. I'm just looking at the back of Sean's Peugeot, because I think it's the only real close cars on track. Actually, there are some drivers close together going about to go through Puon now.
Ismail coming up on not Sean.
And then not too far behind them, you've got the machine, I believe. So all three drivers on 3 different laps, but they're close together on track. So this is kind of what the rules were designed for, I think. Just this whole, like, everyone just gets mixed up and you see where you fall out at the end. You know, very much a case of pace is king.
I think Sean might just run out of fuel.
He must be pitting
at the end.
No, he's pitting now. He'll be fine. He'll have 1% as he enters. There we go.
Wow. Very nicely managed.
Yeah, he's got that car in perfectly. So, and he'll be making his final 5-minute stop, and before the end of the race. Let's look here at the gap between Gecko and Johnny. So it's 5 minutes and 47.
That's about a pit stop. I think that's about.
That's about a pit stop. Yes. And Johnny's gonna be coming in really soon. So, it's gonna be so close. The thing that Johnny has got is that he doesn't have to fuel all the way. You know.
He doesn't.
He doesn't. So, what would ordinarily be, you know, maybe a 50-second pit stop, it's going to be much shorter than that. Not much shorter than that. It's going to be a bit shorter than that because he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to put everything in. It's going to be tight for sure between the two. Maybe Johnny has worked this up brilliantly, and he's just going to be leading pretty much from the start to the finish. I mean, what a performance that would be.
gap between Gecko and Balanta has come down slightly. It almost reached 11 seconds at one point. Now it's down to about 10.7 at the 10.4. So I think unless someone has switched up and decided to start pushing, I think they might be really, really close together.
I mean, that looks to me like it's going to be pretty difficult for Ray Balanta to catch 10 seconds on Gecko, because if you look at their tires and their fuel, they're basically identical. So there's no real advantage for Ray Balanta in the situation, unfortunately. But we'll see. I mean, you know, we saw that Guzas, after 2.5 hours, he made a mistake for the first time, his first big mistake. So, you know, maybe it might be starting to creep up upon them. The 3-hour mark, it's coming, and Johnny makes his pit stop.
Ray Balanta just went a 10.5 faster on his personal best. Johnny comes in for pits. Sean is taking his break. I think this is his last break?
This is his last break, yeah.
Okay. DD Vager.
Oh, DD's fighting with Gecko. And Gecko realizes that he needs to push. I think Gecko realizes that he has to, if he wants any chance of winning this race, he has to be ahead of Johnny by the time Johnny comes out of the pits.
So the gap between Gecko and Balanta is now just under 10 seconds. So that fighting really did hurt him.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Goofy's going to be coming in this lap.
Yeah, Goofy. Who's that just behind Goofy? It looks like Defiant.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Defiant again. I think. Oh no, I think he has raced a few in this series so far. He's had quite an impactful race, you would say.
Right. He's done pretty all right. Because he was starting closer to the back. And now he's up into 7th, so a top 10 finish is always good.
Yeah, top 10 finish. You gotta be satisfied with that. And I think, you know, you've got Guzas behind him.
Goofy,
and it's all because of the yeah, Goofy had to come in. So now Goofy, what's he got left? He's got another set of softs left. So this might be his chance if his pit crew does a good job. So he was 6 minutes and 21 behind the leader. He was over 30 seconds ahead of Ismail Truth. So I actually think Goofy, if he's sort of 10 to 15 seconds behind Ismail Truth, he's going to be breathing up on him towards the end of the race. He could be in for the shout of 4th. Meanwhile, Ray Balanta just set his fastest lap of the race at 2:17.1. Very quick lap. It was actually 8/10 quicker than Gecko, so if he can maintain that kind of pace. But we saw Gecko struggling to get past Defiant, as we saw Ray Balanta struggling to get past Defiant previously. So maybe he could be there, but it all depends. Where is Johnny going to come out? So he's on lap 68. So he's got one more lap to run before the end of the race. But not the end of the race, before the Gecko and Balanta come round.
This is going to be very, very close when Gianni comes out between Gecko and Balanta. He might slot in just between both of them, or he might even have enough fuel or fuel up just enough to stay in front of them.
It's gonna be super close. But I have to say Johnny has driven absolutely brilliantly today. Yeah, I
without
mean,
doubt.
he's just been, you know, you think you see a chink in the armor, and then he just, the way he flipped his strategy, you know, I don't think many other drivers would have been able to do that. Where you're recognizing during the race that, you know, your car just can't do a certain thing, and then to go back to just think, right, I'm just gonna like switch to this, and then to be able to pull it off, and with that pace, you know, I think,
Because you have to remember,
yeah,
initially he started fuel saving, and then he said himself
yeah,
that it wasn't working. So he
yeah,
decided to just go on a push for most of his stints, and it seems to have paid off in extreme dividends.
yeah.
So he'll be finishing up his break within the next.
So I just want to, I just want to point out that Goofy is 6.2 seconds behind Ismail Truth, and he's on fresh softs. So that's game one for Goofy.
That is game on. Oh man, this could be a really close race for in many areas, like first, top three, even for fourth and fifth place.
Alright, where's Johnny? So Johnny, he's got sort of maybe 30 seconds left to wait, or maybe 10 more seconds. Gecko's only coming out of Stavilo now. Oh, it's gonna be so tight.
Oh, it's gonna be really, really tight. I think he's gonna finish.
The pit crew's still on standby. And now they go.
Alright.
Gecko's at the bus stop. Let's ride on board. Let's ride on board with Gecko. Let's see where Johnny now comes out.
So, according to the timing sheets, Gecko has just passed Johnny, but Johnny is still in the pits. He hasn't exited.
Oh, he's
yet.
come out.
Oh, he's exited with like just over 3/4 of a tank, and he's gonna be ahead. He's gonna be ahead, and Johnny is.
I think he's home free.
I think he's got it.
Yeah. So Johnny, with the 4-stop strategy compared to Gecko, Balanta, and Ismail with the 3.
Sometimes making the extra stop is worth it, and
yeah,
clearly Johnny, as it seems, still in the lead of the race, and he's doing a very good job. He hasn't really lost too much of a gap between himself and Gecko. It's only 3 seconds. But you got to remember, every single driver in the top half was held up by back markers at one point. So that did change the scope of things slightly. I think Johnny, if Gecko wants to win this race, he's got to push just a little bit more.
Let's not discredit Gecko here, because he's driven faultlessly.
Absolutely not.
He's only 2.9 seconds behind Johnny, and we're almost 3 hours into this race. So, but I expect that gap to go up now, because if you look, you know, Gecko's he's on, you know, medium worn soft, like middling soft tires here, and Johnny's just got that fresh rubber. So, I mean, are we going to see a 50? Do you think he was going to go for fastest lap? He's surely got to. He's got to try and get that 15.
He can most definitely do it. He did a 2:16.3 early on. Oh yeah, he can do it. He's got it.
Should we ride on board with him now? Let's just check Goofy's not maybe let's check on Goofy here, because Goofy's now within 1.1 seconds of Ismail Truth.
Well, let's see how Ismail's tires are doing. They're on ever so slightly worn hard tires, and Goofy's on soft tires. Goofy I think he's got it too. I think he's got it's between, the next gap between Ismail and Ray Balanta is a minute. So I think if he passes Ismail, if Goofy passes Ismail...
Is he going to go for it here? No, he doesn't. He's being patient, but Ismail leaves the door open.
It seems that after Goofy passes Ismail, he might be on course for a P4 finish. The gap
Now,
to Gianni and Gecko has increased to 4 seconds.
Goofy doesn't take slip here, backs out. He's going to want to get that good run through Blanchimont. There we go. And you can see the Supra pulling up. Is Ismail going to defend? No, he
No,
doesn't.
he's
And
not.
Goofy just goes to the inside.
Takes the chicane very, very nicely.
And that's Goofy up into 4th place. Great job from him, especially after that nightmare opening lap. And he's put it up, you know, into a solid position here. You know, maybe he's thinking, you know, what if I stayed with the leaders? Maybe I could have been in with the likes of a Rabeland, of Gecko, or Johnny. I mean, maybe not Johnny. Johnny's just been so good today, but no, they all have.
Now all Goofy needs to do is manage the soft tire, because while it may be the fastest tire for some time, it also can start to slow you down, and there comes a point where the harder tire may be faster than the softer tire. So all he has to do is just hold it out, manage his tire wear perfectly, and he will be good for a 4th place finish.
Absolutely.
You
have to think that Baldy could have been in with a shout of that 4th place today, maybe even a podium. But it's really a shame that his PlayStation decided to yeet itself in the middle of the race. I just want to point out here, there are currently 6 cars on the lead lap, and one of them in 6th position is Why Not Sean, and he's not a driver that I would have expected to be finishing the top 6 today, but this has been a fantastic drive from him.
He's done a good job all day. He did a pretty alright job in qualifying, and then he just kept his head down, he capitalized on others' mistakes, and look where it got him. He's now into P6.
Yeah, he's over a minute ahead of Defiant. Like that is quite an unbelievable drive. And actually, to be honest, he's only 20 seconds behind Ismail Truth. I mean, you have to think Ismail. Surely they're gonna be 10 laps to go. Sean's gonna have to be. I mean, it could be close, you know, because Ismail's in the 222s, and Sean, he's currently running 219. So, you know what? This battle could be on. Watch the space.
So at the start of the lap for Ismail, it's going to be a 20.2 second gap between Sean, and then we will check back in at the start of the lap for next lap. I think Johnny's trying to go purple again. He just did a 2:16.0.
Oh, 2:16.0.
Yeah,
he wants that 15. Oh, he goes a bit wide.
Oh, he's gone very wide.
He kept his foot in it though. Is he gonna have the grip on the corner? Yep.
I think he's fine.
Yep. Nah.
Only just. Oh, Belanta's gone a little bit wide too.
Yep. Just out of Blanchimont. They're all pushing very, very hard now because, you know, it's one of those things you don't want to leave anything on the table. I think in the last stint you put in a little bit extra effort to finish the race on a good note. Even if it didn't go your way earlier, you still have to finish strong.
It's all about keeping your head down, keep driving, regardless of what happens, whatever they throw at you. You just gotta get past it, move on, and especially applause to Goofy for after spinning out on the opening lap, he's made it back up to P4. He's done a very, very, very good job today. Like, none of these drivers I don't think has put a foot wrong, except maybe
Goofy.
Yeah.
I think there've been a few mistakes for sure. We can talk about There have been some small mistakes like, you know,
Goose is-
maybe
he's spun out.
the leaders in traffic, like very minor mistakes there. We can talk about Goofy at the start. I think Guzas got engine damage.
Baldy.
Baldy
I still feel for
bought the wrong
Baldy.
PlayStation. But
Through no fault of his own, he was really on course for a really good finish.
I'm very impressed with Venom Snake. He's pulling away from Wiley in the 9th spot, and his last lap was a 2:18.8. So Venom, you know.
Well, Wiley has front aero damage. That could be a reason why he's doing 220s on the soft tire.
As Fubar is in the pits, I believe. Yep, this is a scheduled pit stop, and he's going to be putting enough in to take him to the end. Leaders are just starting lap 73. So Fubar's 5 laps done, but that's still very solid, and he's a champ for doing something as stupid as a 3-hour race on GT Sport. What's the longest race that you've managed to do on this game?
It was gonna. Oh, Gianni's got a penalty. It was gonna be 24 hours. No, it was gonna be 4 hours of Le Mans in Group 1 LMP1 hybrid cars. But I lost connection. I only managed about 2.5 hours.
Ah, that's a shame.
Yep. I think before that though, I think my longest lap or my longest race was 3 hours, same series, LMP1 cars around Interlagos. It was a very fun combination, very nice.
Oh, LMP1 at Interlagos does sound really fun. Maybe we need to do something like that in an endurance series. I don't know why, but racing LMP1s always gets my blood going. So very different challenge, obviously.
Very different cars, very different driving style.
I wonder if we're going to see a battle
fun.
I wonder if we're going to see a little battle between Fubar and Wiley in the final stages of the race. I'm riding on board with Wiley, still got that front end damage. Oh, he's running wide at Pouon a little bit.
The gap between Gecko and Ray Belonta is extended to over 13 seconds. So I don't know if that's because it just means that they've both been doing similar lap times too. Both been doing 2:17s, but Gecko's been doing the higher 2:17s. So it's
So the gap's coming down. Oh, Wiley's in the toe of Fubar now, and we can see the difference in the straight line speed between the Lamborghini and the BMW Z4.
I think Wiley's going to try and fight this one. I think Fubar's going to try and fight this one.
Oh, you got it. Wiley just getting a little bit tighter through the bus stop chicane, and therefore giving him a little bit of a better run out of the corner. Is he going to send one? He's going to send one on Fubar. And Fubar just sort of goes wide and lets Wiley go. Is he going to go for the cutback here?
Just couldn't do it in time, so he's gonna follow him in the toe. These 4 corners very nicely I've seen from other drivers. But it doesn't really have that top end like the Lamborghini does.
Yeah, but he's in the slipstream now.
He is in the slipstream though.
You know what, he could go for this.
I think
Here he goes! He's doing it!
Oh.
Yeah, go on Fubar, there we go, that's the stuff. And Fubar takes Wiley into the Coombe, that's a move.
It must be said that Fubar's on racing medium tire while Wiley's on the racing soft.
It might. So Wiley's got difficulty because that front bumper damage is going to be hampering him on the straights.
Right.
So actually, I think Fubar might have an advantage on the straights at this stage, even though he's in the Z4. And also, bear in mind, Wiley's tires aren't looking great, whereas Fubar's mediums are fresh, and they're going to be fresh for they're gonna stay very nicely to the end of the race. Is he gonna look to the inside here, and he's gonna take Fubar again, going into the Fanya.
So if I think Fubar's just gonna sit back and try and get him, maybe even into
or Wiley went a bit wide. Oh! And Fubar's gonna get him into Stavilo. And Ray Belanta in chat said this is exhausting. Come on, man, you've got 10 minutes to go. No, maybe a little bit longer. 15 minutes to go. There we go.
Oh,
almost there. Fubar runs a bit wide.
Very loose.
Oh, and Fubar gets a penalty.
So he's gonna have to serve that.
He's gonna have
now.
He kind of served it already, but what he'll do is he'll go to the, or maybe he'll just attack Wiley here. We'll see. I might have to be looked at afterwards. He might have to do like one of those like simulated penalty burns or something. Fubar, if you're listening to this, just do a simulated penalty burn on the camel. You know, we don't have to give you a penalty afterwards.
Yeah. I think he's gonna do it.
I mean, it'd be more entertaining if you went past Wiley here.
Well, and then he does.
He does. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to listen to me. He's decided. He's decided that, you know what, like, fuck the stewards. Oh, don't worry. I won't report that. I'll let someone else do that.
Very nice stuff going on. Even though Wiley has track position on him, it's still very nice to watch. It's very nice.
Yeah, exactly. You just love it when they're not on the same lap, but they're still going at it. Because that's what you do when you're a racing driver. You keep going. You fight what you can. Fubar's going to defend into the Fanya, and this is. There we go, side by side, and Wiley's going to take him back.
This is amazing.
Oh, but Fubar's is he going to have the inside for campus?
No, just lost out just a little bit.
But now we're on the start. We're on the straight now.
Oh, he is right on his gearbox. But he's also on the marbles, which is doesn't seem to affect him too badly. Is he gonna go for it into the bus stop? I think he will.
No. I think it's gonna be patient. I'm just gonna very quickly check what the gap is between Ismail and Why Not Sean, and then the answer is 11.5 seconds. So Sean, in that Peugeot, he is catching Ismail Truth.
Fighting into
but is it enough? It's gonna be really close. I'm not sure Sean has enough time, but it's gonna be really close between the pair of them. Let's go back to the real action here. So, Fubar!
Sean has been doing 218s, 219s. Ismail has been doing consistent 221s. His last lap was 220 though.
And Fubar's got the slip again on Wiley. And he's going to be ahead going into looking there side by side.
And he's going to be ahead into the middle of the comb and out of the comb.
And the thing is, the thing is, the machine isn't that far ahead of them. So if he just, if he wanted to drop back a little bit, it could be a three-way. Could be a three. Yeah. Nah, I mean.
He could.
I mean, the question is, are they catching him anyway? And the answer is yes. So last lap from Machine was a 2:24, whereas Wiley and Fuba both were in the 2:23s. So we could see a three-way on-track battle pretty soon in the closing stages of this race. Of course, all the drivers on a different lap, so I think we're about to get into like the last. I think we're going to be in the last three laps of this race.
Yeah.
Yes.
Giovanni is on lap 77.
So he's got 4 laps left. So God, 4 laps to go, and we've cleared the 3-hour mark. We'll probably get to.
Wiley trying his best. Side. Oh, too wide into this chicane.
Oh, they touch.
Oh, they make slight contact.
And Wiley's ahead.
I think he's gonna try and fight that. Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna try and fight that. Amazing stuff. Really entertaining stuff.
Fuba is gonna look to the outside. He looks to the inside. Brakes a bit later.
He did a fake, and he's ahead.
A Machine's picked up the pace. His last lap was a 2:21, so I think maybe he saw the 2 guys coming behind him and got a bit scared and wanted to run away. But they're side by side now, Fuba and Wiley. It's a drag race down the Camel Straight.
Yeah, he's got the measure of him because of that front aero damage. Oh, very close on each other's corner. Out of the cone, Fubar is still ahead.
But I do think they are catching Machine, you know.
I think he is. Yeah, he was a lot more ahead just a lap ago.
Apologies to all the other drivers right now. This is the only real battle that we have on track. You get hungry for some action. Oh, Wiley's going to go to the outside, going into the Fania.
The outside.
And he's got the position at campus.
Alright. Out of stop low into launch him on. They go into Fubar is just slightly behind, maybe about a car length. But he's in his toe, so he's gonna be looking very racy into bus stop.
Yeah, oh, he's got a very good run out of Launchimon. Is he going to make the move? He's going to try to go to the inside.
He's going to the inside, and can he make it stick? He's got it so far.
Yeah, he's got the move done, but Wiley doesn't want to back out. Oh, they almost touch.
Amazing stuff, and he's made it stick.
And that's Fubar ahead again.
Yeah.
I think so. Gianni's now got 3 laps to go, and his gap over Gecko Racer is up to 19 seconds. So this is now turning into just a dominant drive from Gianni. In Gecko Racer, he's extended his gap over Ray Belanta to 20 seconds. So again, he's done just such a good, consistent job to get on the podium again. Ray Belanta, he'll be happy coming back to Spa, getting back on the podium.
It must be nice to win at your home race with such dominance. He just kept his head down, went for it, tried a strategy, clearly it didn't work, had to switch strategy mid-race, and it's paid off very, very well.
I'm looking at Goofy here, and I feel without the incidents early in the race, maybe he could have been closer to the likes of Ray Belanta. He's been catching him, I think, for the last few laps, but he's going to be around about a minute behind. But I think Goofy will still be quite happy with this performance. you know, getting fourth. That podium still eludes him, but you know, he must fancy his chances somewhat going into the final race of the season, possibly at
Fubar has
Bathurst.
caught up to the machine. They're going into, out of Stavila.
Oh,
right
they're
now.
going to be. Oh, Fubar is now going to be side by side with Machine. And Wiley's taking Fubar again. And as they go through Blanchimont. And now is Wiley going to look to make a move on the Machine? Machine leaves the space. And now Fubar's going to take Wiley again, and he's just using the slipstream of the Machine. Oh, Machine's run deep.
Very, very.
And they're going to be 3 wide. Oh, and Wiley's going to take the position there.
Oh,
and I think Fubar's going to go through again.
Amazing stuff. Very amazing stuff. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, Machine's gone deep.
Very, very wide. I don't think that'll give him a penalty though. Oh, and it does. He's gonna have to pull over.
I mean, this is what the drivers will love. They'll love just being, you know, on completely different laps, and they're still able to battle each other.
Oh,
Fubar. He's going to look at lips on Wiley here. He's going to look to the inside at Rivage. Wiley he holds that outside. I think Fubar ran a bit wide there. I'm just cut to Sean, who's now 5.4 seconds behind Ismail. So if he had another couple of laps, you know, he could have caught up to the back of that Corvette. But this is still an amazing showing from Why Not Sean. I think he's coming to form now. But going back to Wiley slides out of Fania.
Hold it all together, but only just. Fubar is looking very, very hungry just to take track position.
He's a bit far back though. But the thing is, Fubar has the straight line speed advantage because Wiley has that damage. So you can see he's creeping up behind that Lamborghini.
Remember that.
And look under braking. Look how much he's gained.
Oh man.
Oh, and Wiley got loose.
Very, very.
And now Fubar's back ahead of Wiley on track.
Gonna make Wiley go the long way around. Wiley in the slipstream. The Machine still might be back in this, maybe. He's not too far behind Wiley to take slipstream.
But Wiley's now got the toe of Fubar as they go through Radion and now onto the Camel Straight. And you can just see him inching. Fubar goes defensive very early and now cuts back to the racing line. And Wiley's just edging close. He's not quite close enough to make a move into the Coom. Oh, he gets a bit of contact on the BMW. Has that given Fubar back rear end damage? No, he's gotten off free from that. But Wiley just getting a little bit too close to the back of Fubar.
This is just amazing stuff. They're not even racing for position
and this
anymore.
is the final lap of the race. I'm so sorry, but Johnny, unbeknownst to everybody, has just won the race by a final gap of 27 seconds. So that is a dominant performance by Johnny. Well done him on his home circuit. Gecko Race is just coming up to the bus stop chicane for the last time.
Right now.
Gecko flashes the lights. P2 for him.
Very nice drive for him.
And then we'll have to wait for Ray Balanta. Oh, Balanta's fighting with Venom. Just trying, maybe gonna try and give him a lap. Are you seeing the Wiley show? What's happening in the Wiley show? Balanta comes home in third, flashes the lights, does his customary slowdown. Just looking here. Oh, it's Wiley versus Fubar again, and Fubar's ahead.
There was a slight contact.
Venom Snake finishes in P9. And Fubar well, finished before Wiley. Fubar in 13th place, Wiley in 10th, and then look, Machine's going to come across the line. Look at Fubar, he's going to be happy with that. There we go, and Wiley flashes the lights. Machine does a little weave. Who are we still waiting for? Goofy, he's coming through Blanchimont now. And Sean is 1.7 seconds behind Ismail Truth. Ismail Truth is really low on fuel.
He must be fuel saving like crazy right now. Oh yes. Oh man, is he gonna run out of fuel before the? Oh.
He should make it. He should make it.
Yeah. Ah man, Sean could have been in for a top.
Oh wow.
Oh my goodness.
Ismail, he's coming up to the bus stop for the final time.
Oh, he's going out. Oh,
no, he's still got a bit, but it's going to be Ismail finishing in 5th from Sean in 6th, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the 400 laps. No, the 80 laps of Spa. Whew. We got through it.
That was a race.
And congratulations to Gianni in the lovely looking yellow and blue Corvette. Really superb drive yet again. So just to run through the final race results, we have as follows. Gianni wins, followed by Gecko in 2nd, Ray Balanta in 3rd place, ARC Goofy in 4th, Ismail Truth in 5th, Why Not Sean 6th, Defiant 7th, Guzas 8th, Venom Snake 9th, Wiley 10th, DD 11th, Machine 12th, and Fubar in 13th. Although, we have to say, you know, commiserations to Baldy, because he would have been up there, but unfortunately his PS4 gave out. And yeah, what a race.
Very good stuff. Very, very good racing. Amazing job from Gianni. Didn't really make much of a mistake. Very, very dominant drive, even in qualifying. Granted, it was with the tuning, but
well, he showed he could do it in the race, you know, and
right?
That's where it counted. So, congratulations to Gianni. Great racing by the whole field, and I'm gonna have a nice cold shower. I don't know about you, Orloz.
I'm probably about to do the same.
Cool. Well, I've been the Rascal. And I've been with Orloz, and thank you all for tuning in. See you next time. Hold on. And